Chapter 5586. Lin Xian was really too strong. It was extremely easy for him to kill the Triple Crown King, not to mention the people of the Golden Crow race. The strongest among them was only a sacred lord. Even if a group of sacred lords went up, they wouldn't be able to kill Lin Xian with one punch. Only quasi-emperors were a little dangerous to Lin Xian. Of course, it was just a threat. Ordinary quasi-emperors weren't qualified to kill Lin Xian. The people of the Golden Crow race collapsed. They vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Many of them turned into a bloody mist in this attack. Patriarch, please help. They knelt on the ground. The Golden Crow Patriarch's expression became extremely ugly. Help! It was good enough that he could survive now. How could he be in the mood to care about these people? Give me your strength, and I'll suppress my injuries. Then I'll be able to help you. Really? When the Golden Crow race leader and the others heard this, they were overjoyed and quickly gave their power to the Patriarch. The laws on their bodies danced and flames swept out. They gave all their power to the Golden Crow Patriarch. A huge illusion of a sun appeared on the Golden Crow Patriarch's body, suppressing everything. The Golden Crow Patriarch's body trembled. The poison was suppressed in an instant. That was great. The Golden Crow Patriarch roared and soared into the sky. A pair of golden wings appeared on his back. It covered the sky and the earth. The entire world was engulfed by the sun god fire. The Patriarch asked for help. The people of the Golden Crow race knelt on the ground. They waited for the Patriarch to help. The Golden Crow Patriarch in the sky flapped his wings and tore open the void. He disappeared. What's going on? The people of the Golden Crow race knelt on the ground. They looked up at the sky. They were stunned. Where was their Patriarch? At this moment, a young genius of the Gu family whispered. According to the situation of the spatial power, he seemed to have escaped. What do you mean he escaped? Shut up. What does a young man know? Someone immediately shouted coldly. The genius of the Gu family also lowered his head. Indeed, he was a rising genius. To be honest, he wasn't too sure. Would a quasi-emperor escape? The others didn't believe it even more. However, they waited for a long time, but the Golden Crow Patriarch didn't appear. This made them certain that the Golden Crow Patriarch had really escaped. It can't be. A quasi-emperor escaped. God, Lin Wudi's poison was too terrifying. No, forefather, you lied to us. The people of the Golden Crow clan had all gone crazy. They had originally hoped that the Patriarch would be able to sweep through all of them once he recovered. Who would have thought that the Patriarch would actually run away? I don't care about them. More importantly, those top experts had channeled their power to the Golden Crow Patriarch. They didn't have much strength left. Lin Xian laughed. What a stray dog. Kid, hurry up, don't let him escape. The Crimson Dragon was anxious. Lin Xian's eyes flickered with light. Don't worry, he can't suppress that poison. He could not run far. He had to deal with the Golden Crow race first. Lin Xian's face darkened, and his murderous aura erupted once again. No, the chief of the Golden Crow tribe and the others turned around and knelt on the ground. They looked at Lin Xian and said, Lin Gongzi, please be merciful. Lin Gongzi, please spare us. There were even people who said, Lin Gongzi, this has nothing to do with us. It's all the Golden Crow Patriarch's business. He's the one who went against you. We don't dare to. That's right. Hurry up and chase after the Patriarch. Spare us. These people quickly shouted. The surrounding people were stunned when they heard this. This was really deceiving their master and destroying their ancestors. But thinking about it, the Golden Crow Patriarch didn't care about these descendants anymore. Why would these descendants still follow the Patriarch? Lin Xian shook his head. You should know what happened to the 10,000 Dragon dynasty that went against me. No. Hearing this, the people of the Golden Crow race were in despair. The chief of the Golden Crow race even said, activate the ultimate array formation. Those who can escape, leave. Facing Lin Wudi, She really had no choice. They didn't even have the strength to resist now. They could only escape. Under the ground, the array formation covered everything. One after another, the figures of the Golden Crow race quickly rose into the air. They disappeared. The ultimate array formation destroyed everything and teleported everything. It was over. Lin Xian stood up. A biting cold sword energy appeared in his hand. He raised his hands high. You were born in the sun, so you will be destroyed in the sun. 9 suns open the sky. On Lin Xian's sword energy, a scorching flame suddenly rose and surrounded it. It was an illusion of 9 suns, and it carried the sharp aura of the great dragon sword soul. He slashed down. With an earth-shattering boom, the entire Golden Crow race was split into 2. Run. The families and sects that came to attend the banquet quickly rose into the air and fled in all directions. Many of the Golden Crow race's people were turned into ashes under this sword. The entire array formation shattered, and the sky split open. After this sword strike, the Golden Crow race disappeared. The Golden Crow race, including the experts, didn't have time to escape and died just like that. Kid, some people have been teleported out. Do you want to chase after them? The Crimson Dragon asked. Lin Xian said, There's no need. They're just ants. There's no need to care about them. Let's go and chase after the Golden Crow Patriarch. Lin Xian and the others rose into the air, leaving behind only ruins. The surrounding experts of the families and sects felt their scalps go numb after seeing this. From then on, the Golden Crow race disappeared from burial earth. Some people knelt on the ground in fear. They really couldn't provoke Lin Wuti. Even a quasi-emperor wasn't a threat in front of him. There were also some people from the Emperor clan who were happy. Let's go and take a look. Previously, the Golden Crow Patriarch was very arrogant and didn't even put their great Emperor clan in his eyes. Now, they were going to watch the show. For example, the Phoenix race and the Gu clan followed. The group quickly followed. In front, Lin Xian and the others tore open the void. Lin Xian looked with her Rinnegan. In the next moment, the corners of her mouth curled up. As expected, she didn't run far. There was a golden light in front of her. It was the Golden Crow Patriarch. However, his speed wasn't fast, and he was about to fall from the sky. After obtaining the power of the Golden Crow race's experts, the Golden Crow Patriarch suppressed his injuries and turned to escape. As for the family, what did it have to do with him? As long as he was alive, he could start another family. Therefore, there was hope for him to be alive. However, not long after flying out, he spat out a mouthful of black blood. The poison was too terrifying and couldn't be suppressed at all. At this moment, he suddenly turned his head because he saw a sword chi slashing down from the sky. The Golden Crow race was split apart by the sword. He gritted his teeth. Damn it, I will take revenge for this. Lin Wuti, I won't let you off. He tried his best to fly, but not long after, he was scared out of his wits because he found that Lin Wuti had caught up. Impossible. How did he know where I was? He flew quickly in fear. However, not long after, Lin Xian caught up to him. Old thing, why don't you fly? Ha ha ha, you can't do it, right? The toad sneered and spat on your face. It shot out poison that filled the sky again and flew over. Although this poison was useless against the Emperor clan, the Golden Crow Patriarch didn't have the chance to resist. So when it landed on his body, countless rays of light appeared. Damn it, damn toad. The Golden Crow Patriarch had gone crazy. Now he was being slapped in the face by some juniors. Why, you still dare to be arrogant in front of me? Get out of here. The Crimson Dragon directly stretched out its dragon claw and slapped the other party's face. The Golden Crow Patriarch was like a kite with a broken string falling down. Chapter 55-87. You 3 ants, just you wait. I definitely won't let you off. The Golden Crow Patriarch gritted his teeth and roared. The Crimson Dragon sneered. You still want to escape? The toad also rushed over. Now, they were going to beat the dog while it was down. Damn it, why are this guy's bones so hard? The toad was in so much pain that its claws were shaking. The Crimson Divine Dragon also grimaced. Although they were powerful, they were still unable to withstand the pressure. Although they were powerful, they couldn't break through the defense of a quasi-emperor with their current strength. However, they specialized in hitting the face. Even if they couldn't hurt the other party, they had to hit the other party's face hard. The Golden Crow Patriarch's lungs were about to burst. At this moment, Lin Xian walked over and slashed with his sword. The Golden Crow Patriarch originally thought that it was just a slap in the face, but he didn't expect his body to be sent flying. He spat out a few mouthfuls of black blood. Damn it, this kid is so strong. It was unbelievable that a Triple Crown champion could pose a threat to him, a quasi-emperor. One had to know that the Golden Crow Patriarch had the strength of a quasi-emperor. The gap between the two was especially big. The other party seemed to be able to break through his defense. However, he could only threaten him. It was impossible for him to kill him. He ignored the three little ants and flew quickly with his head lowered. Kid, quickly kill him, the Crimson Dragon shouted. Lin Xian took a deep breath. The divine fire seed between his brows jumped. Another sword. 9 suns, open the sky. It carried the power of the divine fire seed. The Golden Crow Patriarch suddenly turned around. When he sensed this scene, his pupils constricted. Damn it, impossible. How do you have such power? He was so scared that he hurriedly retreated. Boom. He was still hit by the sword. A sword mark appeared on his body, and even his bones were exposed. He was stunned. You can actually break through my defense. This time, it wasn't just a threat, but also an injury. He was injured even more. No, this is the power of a quasi-emperor. How do you have it? He felt the other party's power that surpassed the Bible. This was an immortal energy seed. Damn it, the other party is a Triple Crown champion. Are you kidding me? Damn it, who exactly are you? He roared crazily. Lin Xian swung his sword again. Another sword mark appeared on Patriarch Golden Crow's body. In the end, even Lin Xian was frowning. He had to admit that the Golden Crow was really powerful. It was too difficult to kill such a strange beast. It seemed that he would have to borrow the power of an extreme weapon. Lin Xian waved his hand and took out the heaven-devouring jar. The Golden Crow Patriarch was driven mad by the power of the extreme grade weapon. To be honest, the power of the seed of divine fire was able to hurt him. However, he also had the immortal chi seed. He could still handle the collision between the two. So what if he was injured? It wasn't easy to kill him, but now that the extreme Tao weapon was out, the Golden Crow Patriarch had completely lost his temper. He was only a boundary emperor. An extreme weapon possessed the power of a great emperor. It was not something that he could contend against. If it was a sacred ancestor wielding an extreme Tao weapon, he wouldn't be worried. However, Lin Xian was too terrifying, so he ran away like a madman. Trying to escape, the heaven-swallowing jar struck out. The Golden Crow Patriarch gritted his teeth and screamed. Incarnation! One of his wings instantly split open and was swallowed by the devouring vortex instead of him. As for his remaining body, it quickly tore open the void and escaped. He actually escaped, as expected of an ancient strange beast. Lin Xian frowned. He felt that the Golden Crow Patriarch was even more terrifying than the Boundary Emperor from Mount Eternal that he had encountered before. It was even more terrifying, much more terrifying. One had to know that the Golden Crow Patriarch was currently poisoned. He was actually able to dodge the attack of an extreme grade weapon. He should be even more terrifying when he was at his peak. This guy shouldn't be an ordinary Boundary Emperor. An ordinary Boundary Emperor had the strength of 5 crown kings. Lin Xian guessed that the Golden Crow Patriarch might be 6 crown kings. No matter how many crowned kings he was, Lin Xian continued to chase after him. Another sword chi slashed out, shattering the void. The Golden Crow Patriarch's figure appeared. Damn it, he could still lock onto him. He had gone crazy. In the next moment, he felt the power of 6 reincarnations crushing down on him. 6 paths of reincarnation. The Golden Crow Patriarch was really shocked. He only knew that there was a triple crown king in the divine union called Lin Xian. He was the enemy of the Golden Crow clan. However, he hadn't expected that Lin Xian would be so powerful. The flames from before were at the level of an immortal chi seed. Although the heaven-devouring jar was only half, it was still an extreme-grade weapon. Now, 6 paths of reincarnation had appeared. How many more secrets did this kid have? How could all these powers be gathered on one person? Just like that, Lin Xian chased after the Golden Crow Patriarch all the way. The injuries on his body were getting worse and worse. Many parts of his body were even broken. Behind him, the people from the Emperor clan rushed over and were also dumbfounded when they saw this scene. Lin Wudi was chasing after a quasi-emperor. This was too unbelievable. One had to know that a boundary emperor was a supreme existence now. If the great Earth Emperor didn't appear, a boundary emperor was the strongest. The Emperor clan had to lower their heads in front of a boundary emperor. However, a boundary emperor was now being chased by Lin Xian. How could they not be shocked? The Golden Crow Patriarch could also sense that the people from the great Emperor clan were watching from behind. They said, "Fellow Taoist from the great Emperor clan, please lend me an extreme grade weapon. Please lend me an extreme Tao weapon, and I will repay you 10,000 times in the future." A hint of hope appeared in the Golden Crow Patriarch's eyes. If he had an extreme grade weapon, he could completely reverse the situation and kill the other party. Let's see who dares to help him. You are my enemy. The end result is the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The hearts of those from the Emperor clans thumped wildly. Indeed, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, the extremely terrifying dragon race among the great Emperor clans, was still beaten up miserably. In the end, a group of experts fell, and the remaining people left. Their whereabouts were still unknown. Therefore, no one dared to respond. Damn it, a bunch of cowards. The Golden Crow Quasi-Emperor shouted angrily and continued to escape. Actually, these Emperor clans couldn't be blamed. The Golden Crow Patriarch had just recovered. He had never experienced Lin Xian's terrifying era. These Emperor clans had personally witnessed Lin Xian's growth. From an ant in their eyes, he had grown step by step to a supreme expert above them. This period of time was very short. Therefore, these people from the Emperor clans didn't dare to easily go against Lin Xian. However, at this moment, a voice sounded in the Golden Crow Patriarch's mind. These Emperor clans are all very timid and don't dare to help you. However, I will give you a clear path. Go to the Purple Mansion. There are also extreme grade weapons there that can protect you. The Golden Crow Patriarch was stunned. He quickly looked around, but he realized that there was no one there. His face darkened. Was he going to that place? He naturally knew about the Purple Mansion. That place was related to the Permitha realm. Its strength was terrifying and unfathomable, but it was only as a last resort. She really didn't want to go to that place because the price she had to pay was too great. It was over. At this moment, Lin Xian suddenly stood up. He held the dragon-shaped sword energy with both hands and slashed down. Chapter 55-88. This sword was really too terrifying. When the Golden Crow old ancestor sensed it, his expression changed drastically. The power of the great dragon sword. Damn it, you actually have such power. He had really gone crazy. He had heard of such an invincible power before. It was absolutely terrifying to the extreme. Although the kid in front of him was not as strong as him and could not unleash the full power of the great dragon's sword, it would still be very troublesome for him. He absolutely could not be hit. Roar! He roared towards the sky, emitting a terrifying whistling sound. The flames on his body quickly bloomed, as if he had turned into a sun. At the same time, a thunderous sound erupted from his body. Obviously, the Golden Crow old ancestor was going all out. At this moment, he actually turned into a sun again and quickly fled. Boom! His speed was extremely fast, and in an instant, he suddenly erupted and dodged the sword. The place where he was originally standing was completely shattered. The Golden Crow old ancestor's expression became incomparably ugly. Fortunately, he had gone all out at the last moment. Although this way, his injuries would be even more serious, and the poison in his body would not be able to be suppressed. Compared to the great dragon's sword, he felt that it was worth it. If he had been hit, his fate would have been even more miserable. Damn it, the other party had the great dragon sword and an apex weapon. He was no match for him at all. It seemed that he could only choose the last option, which was to join the Purple Mansion sect. Thinking of this, he sighed. He had been careless. If he had not been poisoned at his peak, so what if the other party had the great dragon sword? He would have dared to fight. But now he could not even use 1% of his strength. Puffed. He spat out a few more mouthfuls of blood, and his body became even darker. The poison was about to spread throughout his body. No, he accelerated again and turned into a sun. Then he turned into a stream of light and charged into the distance. He actually did not hit. Lin Xian also frowned. It seemed that he had really underestimated the other party. The Golden Crow Quasi-Emperor was not an ordinary Quasi-Emperor. He snorted coldly and sped up. The two of them, one in front and one behind, chased and killed while the other fled. Everyone on the buried Emperor's star looked up at the sky. Heavens, what is that? A sun? Is Lin Wudy chasing a sun? No, that was the Golden Crow old ancestor. A Quasi-Emperor. Lin Wudy was a Triple Crown champion. Was he already capable of hunting down Quasi-Emperors? Countless people were terrified. The people from the monarch clans were shocked. Even the people from the Forbidden Lands came out to investigate the situation. The Golden Crow Grand Elder is really an idiot, the people of the Forbidden Land of Life sneered. But soon, they frowned. This Lin Wudy was really a scourge. Sooner or later, they had to get rid of him. He absolutely could not let the other party become a Quasi-Emperor. They had already begun to lay out their plans. Fellow Taoist of the Zifu sect, hurry up and save me. The Golden Crow Patriarch couldn't hold it in any longer. His entire body had turned black, turning into a black sun. Poisonous blood kept falling from the sky, and the ground below was shattered. The people from the Z government were also stupefied. Heavens, what was going on? Was a sun going to fall on their mansion? What kind of joke was this? Did the Golden Crow clan want to attack them? However, when they heard the cry for help, they were stunned. The Golden Crow old ancestor was asking them for help, to save or not to save. Those people frowned. Of course, this was not something they could decide. The mansion master walked over and said as he activated the extreme Tao weapon, the dragon pattern cauldron. Boom. There was a rumble, and a huge cauldron appeared between heaven and earth. There were two dragons revolving around it, and it was abnormally terrifying. The dragon's roars shook the sky. After the dragon pattern cauldron appeared, it directly enveloped the Golden Crow old ancestor. Thank you, fellow Taoist. When the Golden Crow old ancestor sensed this scene, he was completely relieved. With a whoosh, he disappeared from the Z government. In an instant, Lin Xian rushed over from behind. When he saw this scene, his face turned gloomy. He slashed the sky with his sword again. The dragon-shaped sword chi hit the cauldron. The dragon pattern cauldron shook violently. A monstrous power swept out, and the terrifying aura caused the people on the buried Emperor's star to crawl on the ground again. A battle of extreme Tao. Lin Wudi, if you want to fight in advance, I will accompany you to the end. The mansion master of the Z government walked over. Previously, she had already recovered from her injuries. The reason why she was in seclusion was to wait for her father's arrival. However, this time, she was forced to take action for the Golden Crow old ancestor. It did not mean that she was afraid of Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Are you sure you want to protect the Golden Crow old ancestor? Mansion Master Z said. That's right, Lin Wudi, we will protect the Golden Crow old ancestor. You can't kill him. Also, let me tell you one last time. Cherish your remaining time because you will go to hell soon. Go to hell? I'm afraid it's you. Isn't there still half a year left? Do you think I don't know? Hearing this, Mansion Master Z's pupils constricted. Damn it, how did you know? What else do you know? He was really too shocked. Although some people knew that a great fortune was about to happen, they did not know the exact time. However, the moment Lin Xian opened his mouth, he asked for half a year, because there was indeed only half a year left. The other party was so accurate. Could it be that he had obtained some information? Who gave him the information? The Heavenly Court or other extreme Tao weapons? Mansion Master Z was very nervous. Lin Xian laughed loudly. Take your time to guess, because in half a year, the ones who will go to hell will be you. After saying that, he said loudly, Golden Crow old ancestor, do you think you will be safe after entering the Purple Mansion? There will be a day when I will destroy both your soul and your heart. It won't be long. Within 3 years, I will kill you personally. After saying that, Lin Xian turned and left. His voice spread throughout the entire buried Emperor Star. Countless people were shocked. They did not expect that the battle would not start. However, Lin Xian had already said that he would kill the Golden Crow old ancestor within 3 years. After hearing that, the people from the Emperor race frowned. He was too arrogant. Although the Golden Crow old ancestor was being chased this time, it was because he was poisoned. If the poison recovered with the Golden Crow old ancestor's strength, even 10 Lin Wudi would not be able to defeat him. Where did Lin Wudi get his confidence from? Did he think that he could do it just because he had an extreme Tao weapon? When the time came, he could also lend his Purple Mansion to the Golden Crow old ancestor. Therefore, everyone frowned again. In the Purple Mansion, the Golden Crow old ancestor was about to faint. After hearing that, he fainted from anger. An ant actually dared to threaten to kill him within 3 years. How despicable. Let's go back to Mansion Master Z took back the dragon pattern cauldron, closed the mountain gate, and returned. When he saw the injured and poisoned Golden Crow old ancestor, he frowned and snorted coldly. He did his best to save him. The array formation in the Purple Mansion activated, and at the same time, all kinds of spirit pills and miraculous medicines were sent to the Golden Crow old ancestor. However, the Golden Crow old ancestor's poison was still not cured. What was going on? How could there be such a terrifying poison? How did Lin Wudi do it? The elders of the Purple Mansion were also shocked. They had never seen such a situation. Chapter 5589. Mansion Master, what should we do? The people of the Purple Mansion were out of ideas. The head of the Z government was also frowning. He was personally going to investigate. 2 days later, his face sank. Damn it, what's going on? I can't do anything. Could it be a poison that doesn't belong to the mortal world? Thinking of this possibility, the Mansion Master was shocked. Impossible. How could Lin Wudi have such a thing? How could he have a power that doesn't belong to the mortal world? Damn it, this kid is too strange. The Mansion Master of the Purple Mansion had no choice but to summon his father's phantom in his body. A middle-aged man walked out and asked about the matter again. When he heard about it, he frowned. Is he poisoned by a poison that doesn't belong to the mortal world? It's really troublesome. However, the Golden Crow ancestor is also extraordinary. He's a rare beast six-crowned king. His strength can still increase in the future. More importantly, he can control the fire of the sun. It might be of great help to attack the solar god palace. So, we can save him. Let's freeze him first. Half a year later, we'll descend and bring pills to save him, the middle-aged man said. The mansion master of the Purple Mansion used this method to freeze the Golden Crow ancestor. Then he waited patiently. There's only half a year left. It's very close. 100 years later, Lin Wuti will die, and they will rule the world. The Golden Crow patriarch had been sealed in ice, and the news had spread. Countless people were shocked. The Golden Crow ancestor's life was unknown. Lin Xian chased him all the way, shocking the world. That's a quasi-emperor. It seems that even a quasi-emperor can't easily offend Lin Wuti. In an instant, countless people were in awe of Lin Xian. In the blink of an eye, 5 months passed. There's only 1 month left. Lin Xian was also very nervous. There were ancient existences everywhere in the universe that were awakening. There were even some unknown creatures that appeared. The forbidden land of life appeared more and more frequently, as if it was going to appear completely. A few emperor clans joined forces to attack the devouring Shadow Clan because they controlled too many clans and sections. If this continues, it'll be a great threat to the Great Earth clans. Under the attack of the extreme weapons, the devouring Shadow Clan was forced to retreat. No matter how strange the 10,000 ancient races were, the emperor races were still the strongest existences, unless a true great emperor had awakened, or someone like the Golden Crow patriarch had awakened. Only by wielding an imperial weapon would one be able to pose a threat to the imperial clans. In the 6th month, a projection suddenly appeared in the sky like a mirage. Between the clouds and mist, there were all kinds of mountains and seas surrounding them. Pavilions, palaces, and stars were everywhere. That scene was even more spectacular than the Great Earth family. Everyone even thought that it was an immortal palace descending from the clouds. Was that the creation that was about to appear? Countless people looked at the scene and were extremely shocked. Not only on buried Earth, but the entire universe seemed to have a mirage. There was an illusion of a celestial palace. It was really too mysterious. Could it be that an immortal palace was about to appear in the universe? Was this the so-called creation? Countless people cried out in surprise. They couldn't wait any longer. The appearance of the illusory immortal palaces made countless people excited. The power of the entire universe was boiling. The martial artists and saints felt that their bottlenecks were about to disappear. The living fossil was shocked. Heavens, I'm about to break through. Tears streamed down their faces. Some cultivations had limited them for thousands of years. It was difficult to take a step forward, but now they saw hope. Some living fossils even knelt down in the void and kowtowed to the illusory immortal palaces. The people of the divine union naturally saw it too. They were also nervous. They didn't know if it was a blessing or a curse. Lin Xian frowned. He felt a mysterious power. At the same time, he felt a little familiar. This power was very similar to the power in the sword world. However, the only difference was that the illusory image in the universe was illusory. The sword world was a real existence. Lin Xian asked DeLong, "What is that?" DeLong said, "You guessed right. It's about the same power as the sword world. Next, that space will descend. Countless people would be able to obtain opportunities and good fortune. It will depend on your luck and strength. Of course, you are different from them. Apart from being able to compete for opportunities and treasures in the space that appears, you will also be able to obtain opportunities. You'll also be able to obtain opportunities in God's domain. You'll even have to rely on yourself to deal with the upcoming enemies. Divine Realm." Hearing that, Lin Xian was shocked. He said that was the name of the sword world. DeLong had hidden it for so long. Finally, in the last month, he told him some things. That's right, the world in your body is called the divine realm. It's very magical. What exactly does it need you to explore? With the arrival of the world's fortune, the divine realm in your body will slowly recover. Therefore, your great opportunity has arrived. Lin Xian took a deep breath. In the 6th month, he didn't go out. Instead, he explored the divine realm with all his might. He discovered that, apart from the resources and power given by the Tharch family, the divine realm was revived. The divine realm seemed to have its own power and was gradually recovering. This power was even more mysterious. Lin Xian saw that some of the remaining withered flowers had bloomed and the broken fruits had recovered. That aura was even more terrifying than the illusory image in the universe outside. Moreover, it felt more real. Lin Xian could even feel the divine flame imprint in his heart beating nonstop. It seemed very excited. At the same time, he was surprised. The space in his body was called the divine realm. Could it be related to the divine flame? And this newly appeared illusory space, could it be related to the immortal qi? Lin Xian could only make such a guess. After all, the two paths to becoming an emperor were the divine flame and the immortal qi, and the quasi-emperors he had seen before. The Golden Crow quasi-emperor and the quasi-emperors of Mount Eternal didn't cultivate the divine flame. They all cultivated the immortal qi. He didn't know if it was a coincidence or if there were very few people who cultivated the divine flame path. The paths were different, but the end point was the same. Therefore, Lin Xian was very determined. He had to cultivate the divine flame to the extreme. On this day, Lin Xian was exploring the divine realm in his body. He also found a very dangerous place. It was a valley. The aura was very terrifying. Although it had recovered a little, it still had an endless, desolate aura. More importantly, Lin Xian saw something in the valley with his Rinnegan. It was a broken ancient book. The ancient book was very big. He didn't know what kind of metal it was made of. There was rust and dust on it. It seemed to be a broken book that had been sealed. Although the aura was terrifying, when Lin Xian approached, he could feel his great Tao boiling. The broken ancient book was definitely extraordinary. Lin Xian wanted to explore, but he found that he couldn't enter the valley. Was his cultivation not enough? Chapter 55-90. It seemed that he still had to increase his strength. Although he had chased after the Golden Crow Patriarch, Lin Xian wouldn't be able to defeat him at all if he was in his peak state. Even if he used an extreme weapon, it would probably only be a draw. It wouldn't be easy to kill him. The Golden Crow Patriarch was only 6th Crown King. Although he was very terrifying in this quasi-emperor realm, he was only a quasi-emperor. Lin Xian wouldn't forget who his enemy was. It was the Permitha realm. There was even half a frog in the Permitha realm. If it discovered him, it would definitely attack him crazily. He had offended a great emperor. Therefore, Lin Xian urgently needed to increase his strength. Fortunately, Lin Xian had the divine realm. He searched around and finally found another fruit. Previously, Lin Xian had eaten a fruit here, and his strength had increased by a large margin. Now that he had another one, he might be able to break through. Of course, he had to ask DeLong in advance if this thing was poisonous. It was still unknown whether the Golden Crow Patriarch was dead or alive after eating it. Lin Xian didn't want such a thing to happen. He showed it to DeLong. DeLong said, "It's okay. You can eat it. Moreover, this thing contains a lot of power. Be careful not to shatter your divine body." Lin Xian didn't believe it before. Was it that scary? But when he ate it, cracks appeared on his body. Damn, it was actually so terrifying. Lin Xian realized that he had underestimated the divine realm. This seemed to be a power that didn't belong to the mortal world. It was really too magical. Now, he didn't have time to think too much. He took a deep breath and absorbed with all his might. All kinds of great Tao laws surged, and his divine body bloomed. The divine fire jumped. The 6 paths of reincarnation, the yin-yang laws, and the Taiji diagram all flew out. Beside him, they surrounded him. Lin Xian was immersed in his cultivation. At the same time, the living beings of the universe outside were getting more and more excited. Those people also exclaimed because they realized that the illusions in the universe's sky were becoming more and more real. It was as if a real world was about to descend above their heads. Heavens, what was that? Was there such a world in the universe? Could it really be the immortal world? Countless people had already begun to speculate. Even the elders of the great monarch clans knelt on the ground. They were all clans that had produced great emperors before, so they knew a lot more. Back then, when their old ancestor became a great emperor, he was unable to advance. Legend had it that the great emperor realm was not the end. One could enter the immortal realm. He could even become an immortal. However, there didn't seem to be any records of an emperor becoming an immortal. Some people even guessed that the great emperor was the end of the martial path, and becoming an immortal was just a beautiful dream. It did not exist. But now, the scene of an immortal palace had descended from the sky. They were shocked beyond belief. Perhaps there really were immortals. However, every time, he had to wait for the immortal palace to open. Had their patriarchs missed the opportunity? There were also people who laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, our luck is really good. We were born in a golden age. Now that the immortal palace has descended, not only can we become emperors, we might even become immortals and live forever in this world. The eyes of some of the young geniuses glinted fiercely. The eyes of Kunping Zi, Yi Wudao, and the others also shone with a sharp light. If they wanted to become emperors, they had the most hope. In particular, the 2 princes clenched their fists tightly. Father missed the opportunity back then, so this time I won't miss it. I want to inherit Father's legacy, become an immortal. Kunping Zi's eyes shone with an yin and yang aura. On the other side, the fire Qilin also moved quickly. Once the illusion in the sky became real, the Qilin clan would enter. In the cold darkness, there were countless ancient tombs. It was an ancient battlefield. Back in the ancient times, a great battle had taken place here, and it was extremely tragic. Now, it had become a land of death, and no one came here. However, there was a silhouette that was walking nonstop in this place. This figure was dressed in cotton clothes, but his face was cold. It was Yao Guang. At this moment, his aura was also that of the Triple Crown King. Previously, he had been cultivating in the Purple Mansion, and the Purple Mansion Triple Crown King had chased him away as soon as he came out. After he came out, he swore that he would take revenge. Later, he began to search for the tombs and ancient battlefields of various experts, devouring their corpses and power. Finally, he became the Triple Crown King. However, he was not satisfied. This was because he knew that there would be even more experts coming soon. As expected, when the illusion of the immortal palace appeared in the sky, the 9th firmament quasi-emperor in his mind also became excited. Great, it's finally here. Yao Guang was shocked. He asked the 9th firmament quasi-emperor many times, and finally he knew something. It seemed that a great opportunity was coming, and he could use the demonic heaven-devouring skill to be one step ahead of others. Lin Wudi, one day, I'll trample you under my feet. The 9th firmament quasi-emperor was even more shocked. Soon, in less than a month, the Nirvana realm will descend. When that time comes, I'll be able to reconstruct my true body. He looked up to the sky and laughed proudly, shattering the endless void. The universe, surrounded by the great Tao, this was the gate of Tao. It was also a place of ancient inheritance. In the gate of Tao, Zhong Lingxiu also looked at the mysterious illusion. He took a deep breath. Is everyone ready? Those from the gate of Tao asked. Princess, don't worry, we'll search for it as soon as possible. In an ancient ruin, Chao Tiansheng also stood up, the stars in his eyes flickering. As the only existence of the Light Clan, it was even more mysterious. Legend had it that the Light Clan could travel through time and space when cultivated to the peak. He looked up at the sky and sighed. It's finally here. As he spoke, he picked up an ancient weapon. Whisper. It seems that my mission is about to begin. In another part of the void, there were 365 mysterious figures sitting cross-legged between heaven and earth. Among these voices, there was a beautiful woman. She also opened her eyes and stood up. The surrounding 365 phantoms all entered the space between her brows. She was Shen Jingqiu. At this moment, Shen Jingqiu's cute face had a hint of mystery. He said, "It seems that it's time to go back." His figure swayed, and he disappeared in a land of nothingness. At this moment, the laws were everywhere, and the aura was terrifying. There was definitely no third person who dared to come here. There were two figures in front of him. A figure with a carefree expression sat there, drinking wine from a gourd. The other figure had an extremely terrifying aura, as if it could split heaven and earth apart. He was so angry that he kept roaring. Damn it, damn it. He was the Chaos Quasi-Emperor. Previously, he was blocked by the mysterious man who came out. The two fought all the way to the depths of the universe. However, he couldn't do anything to the other party, and the other party didn't seem to have any intention of attacking him. The other party only restrained him. This made him so angry that he stomped his feet. However, when the illusion of the immortal palace appeared in the end, the Chaos Quasi-Emperor could no longer stay calm. Could it be that this was really the place in the legends? Did it really appear? Great, my opportunity has come. He was overjoyed because he knew some ancient legends. However, in his opinion, those were all myths and legends, and it was impossible to find them in reality. Now, it really appeared in front of him. How could he not be excited? He had hope of becoming an emperor. Chapter 5591. Damn drunkard, don't blame me for fighting you if you dare to stop me. The great opportunity was right in front of him, and he couldn't let it go. In front of him, Lord Alcohol opened his eyes. He glanced at him and said, "Get lost." At this moment, there seemed to be a trace of sadness in his eyes. It was unknown if he was thinking of the past. Drunkard, just you wait. After I break through and become an emperor, I'll suppress you first. The chaotic force snorted and turned to leave. After he left, Lord Alcohol stood up and sighed. What was to come had come. It's time to end some things. His eyes suddenly shone with an extremely cold light. Heavenly Court, an existence that once went against the Purple Mansion, was said to be extremely mysterious. After recovering, the Heavenly Court also recovered. At this moment, the experts in the Heavenly Court also looked up at the sky. Their expressions were solemn. Black Mountain, who was dressed in a black robe, walked over and said, "Humph, finally out." However, it was hard to say who would emerge victorious this time. A trace of sharpness flashed in his eyes. Behind him, the Northern Demon walked over and said, "Master, I've prepared everything you asked me to do." Black Mountain turned around and smiled. "Is that so? That's good. Oh, right, make a trip to the Divine Union and pass some news to Lin Xian. There are some things that he needs to do." Yes. The Northern Demon nodded respectfully and turned to leave. Extreme Tao World. After the dragon transformation battle started, the world was sealed and could only be opened at a specific time. At this moment, the Extreme Tao Emperor weapons in the Extreme Tao World were also discussing, "Is it here? It's faster than expected." Damn it. The Valley of No Return suddenly broke open. This time, the opportunity has come early again. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. No, it's ahead of our plan. If the Permitha realm descends, we won't be able to use some methods. We can't stop it. It seems like we can only delay it for a while. Although we can't stop the entire space from descending, we can stop the Permethar realm. That's right, the Permethar realm can't descend so quickly. At least, it can't make it so easy for them. The few extreme Tao Emperor weapons discussed and flew towards the slanting moon cave. Slanting moon cave. The huge Bodhi tree swayed and radiated. There was a stone monkey. Beside him was a monkey who was cultivating with his eyes closed. It was Sun Qitian. Sun Qitian heard some movement and immediately turned his head. He shouted coldly. The next moment, when he sensed the presence of several extreme weapons, he immediately stood up. He bowed respectfully to the seniors. "Little monkey, how has your cultivation been recently?" The black tortoise asked. Sun Qitian said, "It's already the triple champion, but I think it's still not enough." Brother Annihilation said, "Don't worry, you will break through again very soon. You still don't know the situation outside. Go out and take a look." "But Sun Qitian said, "I still want to stay here." "Stupid." The destructive Halbert harumphed coldly. A man's ambition was to travel all over the world. He had to ascend to the supreme Tao. Why do you miss this place so much? Where is your Tao heart? What about your martial path? A cold shout shook Sun Qitian's body. The Aquarius of life flew over and said, "Little monkey, don't worry. I know you miss your father. However, you have to leave and become stronger. Perhaps one day your father will return." "Really?" Sun Qitian's body trembled, and a look of shock appeared in his eyes. The Aquarius of life said, "After you see the scene outside, you will know that anything is possible." What exactly happened outside? Sun Qitian was also at a loss. After entering the slanted moon cave, he never went out again. He had no idea what was happening outside, and he couldn't even sense it, because the extreme path world was extremely terrifying. The slanted moon cave was even more mysterious. Could it be that something had happened outside? Sun Qitian rose into the air, left the slanted moon cave, and even flew out of the extreme path world. When it first appeared, he was completely shocked. What was this? He looked up at the sky. Above the ninth heaven, there was a scene of an immortal palace, flowing water, waterfalls, and strange flowers blooming. And it was getting more and more realistic, as if a mythical or legendary scene had appeared in front of him. Sun Qitian was completely shocked. He had never seen such a scene before, and he had only heard of it in legends. It seemed that a great creation was about to happen. No, one of the seniors said so. "Maybe I can really see my father again." Sun Qitian clenched his fists and said telepathically, "Seniors, thank you for your guidance. I'll be back." After saying that, he instantly rose into the air and left. After he left, an iron staff flew out of the slanted moon cave, soared into the sky, and caught up with Sun Qitian. "Father!" Sun Qitian held the iron staff, and his eyes turned red. He said, "I'll inherit your will, ascend to the ninth heaven, and stand at the peak of martial arts. I'll become an emperor. I'll become a god." Sun Qitian put away the iron staff, then rose into the air and disappeared. After he left, the few extreme path weapons in the slanted moon cave looked at the stone monkey and said, "This time, the deity ground descended 100 years earlier than expected. We're not fully prepared, so we have to stop the Permethar realm. We can't let them appear so easily, so we have to rely on your power." The few extreme path weapons also had the power of the extreme path, and they were the existence of the young master in the heavens. But now, in front of them, they were extremely respectful, and they didn't dare to be careless at all. The stone monkey didn't say anything, and he didn't even move, as if he was really a stone. However, at this moment, another ray of light flew out from the stone platform below him. It was a page of the heavenly book, and it was extremely mysterious. Seeing this scene, the treasured bottle of life, and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Brother Annihilation took the page of the heavenly book and said, "We can definitely stop him. This time we won't lose." They turned around and wanted to leave. However, at this moment, a sound of something breaking through the air came from the depths of the slanted moon cave. In the next instant, a second ray of light appeared, and it was also a page of the heavenly book. It shone brightly. The mysterious great path on it was different from the one in their hands. The three extreme path weapons were stunned. They looked into the distance, and then they gasped, "Has he awakened?" The treasured bottle of life was extremely excited, and it even wanted to inject its life force into it. Black Tortoise said, "No, don't alarm him." He took the second page of the heavenly book, then took a deep breath. "Let's go." They walked out and left the slanted moon cave. However, they didn't leave this world. Instead, they entered the world. The ground kept cracking, and an underground passage appeared. They walked all the way to the center of this world, where there was a broken ancient book. They didn't know what kind of metal it was made of, and it was extremely mysterious. However, it had long been broken, and many parts were missing. There were also many cracks in the places where it existed. Chapter 5592. Looking at the broken ancient book, the few extreme grade weapons sighed. Then they inserted the page of the heavenly book in their hands into it. The ancient book in front of them started shaking violently. The two pages of the heavenly book were perfectly fused together, which was very surprising. It seemed like the page of the heavenly book came from the broken ancient book. "The other page is with Lin Xian. We can borrow it when the time comes," the Black Tortoise said. The Aquarius of Life also nodded. She said that we might not need that page. "Let's wait. When the deity ground really descends, we will activate the heavenly book." The few extreme grade weapons started preparing. In the universe, all the realms, everyone was waiting excitedly. The Z Mansion was the most excited. The mansion master of the Z Mansion had not closed his eyes for the past few days. He looked up at the sky and clenched his fists. Great. In a few days, the deity ground would really descend. At that time, the world would be theirs. At the thought of this, he laughed proudly. "Ha ha!" Outside, the people of the Z Mansion felt their scalps go numb. An elder said, "Is the mansion master provoked? Is he crazy? Is it related to the heaven and earth vision in the sky? I don't know. Let's not provoke the mansion master." The Higgin Heavenly King was standing behind the Z Mansion. Only the mansion master himself knew this. The others did not know at all. Therefore, they did not know why the mansion master was so happy. In the divine union, Lin Xian was still cultivating. He had swallowed a divine fruit in the deity plane. The power in his body exploded, causing his body to crack. However, he carefully absorbed the power in the fruit. His strength continued to increase. Although he was still in the divine ancestor realm, his strength was increasing rapidly. The flame mark between his eyebrows became even more dazzling. With a boom, lightning fell from the sky. Lin Xian roared at the sky and started to transcend the tribulation. Not only was there lightning, but there was also a mysterious flame. He was going to transcend the lightning and fire tribulation. Did he break through again? In the distance, near the Four Spirit Valley, the Hellfire Dragon was shocked. This kid was too crazy. If he broke through again, he would be a quadruple champion. Xiao Chen wanted to see Xiao Chen beating up quasi-emperors before he became a quasi-emperor. Lin Xian went through a lot of hardships during his tribulation, but with his trump cards and strength, he managed to survive. Above his head, there were 4 illusory crowns that floated up and down. Lin Xian was currently breaking through to become a quadruple champion. He raised his head and roared, causing the void around him to tremble and create a terrifying storm. What a powerful force! Lin Xian clenched his fists. He felt that he could kill all those Triple Crown champions who had gone against him with a single slap. This was the difference between a quadruple champion and a triple champion. Furthermore, Lin Xian possessed the seed of the divine flame. In other words, Lin Xian was now able to contend against an ordinary quasi-emperor. For example, the quintuple crown king level quasi-emperors. Lin Xian was confident that he would be able to fight even against 6 crown kings, such as the Golden Crow, even if he had recovered from his injuries. It was too powerful. The power of a single fruit was too terrifying. He looked around and sighed. Although there were other fruits around him, their power could not be compared to the one he had swallowed before. In other words, there were strong and weak divine fruits. The divine fruit that Lin Xian had swallowed before must have been very powerful. He would consolidate his power and then go out to wait for the descent. Lin Xian sat down cross-legged and began to consolidate his power. Outside, countless people cried out in alarm as they felt a terrifying aura pressing down on them. The 9 heavens and 10 earths were shattering. Burial Earth Star was also shaking violently. Burial Earth Star had even begun to merge with the quintessential world. This miraculous change shocked countless people. The people of both worlds were stunned. The great emperor clans also looked solemn. Previously, they were in the quintessential world. Later, they went to Burial Earth Star. However, it seemed that it was not a coincidence that they were in the quintessential world. Burial Earth Star and the quintessential world were originally one. However, they became 2 worlds later on. Now, they were going to merge again. Next, there were even more terrifying changes. The phantoms of the immortal palaces in the sky became more and more real. In the end, they completely appeared in front of everyone. It was hanging above the 9 heavens. There were flowing water, waterfalls, and flying flowers. A mysterious and terrifying aura descended from the sky. The worlds in the entire universe also began to boil. The original plants grew crazily. Those that were dozens of meters grew into hundreds of meters. Those that were thousands of meters grew into tens of thousands of meters. Those that were tens of thousands of meters broke through and became terrifying demonic beasts. They became mutants of heaven and earth. The light of the great Tao danced and rainbows filled the sky. The cultivation of some living fossils instantly broke through with a boom. The same went for those young geniuses. The Qilin son of the Fire Qilin clan looked up at the sky with incomparable excitement. A ray of light enveloped him. In an instant, he roared at the sky. Above the 9 heavens, an endless, mysterious aura turned into a vortex and swept toward him. It enveloped him. The power of the 4 seas and 8 wastelands all surged toward him. He roared angrily, and a thunderous sound came from his body. He turned into a Qilin, stepping on all directions and being attacked by 10,000 flames. In the next moment, 3 crowns appeared above his head. He broke through. His Highness broke through. Heavens! Did His Highness become the Triple Crown King? When the people of the Qilin clan saw this scene, they cried tears of joy. The Qilin son had been the Double Crown King for a long time, but he couldn't break through. They didn't expect that the moment the phantoms of the immortal palaces in the sky appeared, the mysterious power they carried would allow their Highness to break through. If they could enter the space above, their Highness would definitely be able to break through. He might even become a great emperor. Boom! The Fire Qilin roared at the sky. Great! His eyes were filled with shock. Did he break through and become the Triple Crown King, just like that? In the next moment, the lightning in the sky descended. He began to transcend the tribulation. It wasn't just him. The Kuan-Peng son of the Kuan-Peng clan transformed into the god of yin and yang. One of his wings was black, and the other was white. He also absorbed the power of the deity ground above, the 9 heavens. The power of the deity ground turned into a vortex and enveloped him. Above his head, the Triple Crown King appeared. He also broke through. His Highness, the people of the Kuan-Pung clan were overjoyed. Even the powerhouses and geniuses of the Emperor clans were rapidly increasing their strength. It wasn't just these two clans. The Phoenix clan, the Yi clan, the Gu clan, the Skyblade sect, the Longevity Hall, the Divine Fire Palace, the Daozhong clan, and the Sky sect were all experiencing the same thing. Even the Divine Union was experiencing the same thing. This was a great fortune, a fortune given to the entire universe. The arrival of the deity ground brought with it too much mysterious power. This was because the deity ground would only descend once every tens of thousands of years. Once it did, it would be a golden age. All the living beings in the universe would break through at the same time. The cultivation bases of Morong Qingcheng, Yan Ryu, the Crimson Dragon, Xueqi by Susu, the Toad, and Fu Hongya had also increased. Morong Qingcheng, Yan Ryu, and Xueqi had all been Double Crown Kings. Now, they had broken through and become Triple Crown Kings. The Toad and the Crimson Dragon had also become Double Crown Kings. The Crimson Dragon was even more excited when he sensed the power of heaven and earth. In the later stages, he cultivated the Earth Scripture and was considered an array master. He made use of the power of heaven and earth. Now that the power of heaven and earth was countless times stronger than before, the power of the array formed by it would be far more powerful than before. Quickly inform Lin Xian and ask him to come out of seclusion and accept this opportunity. The Crimson Dragon roared and quickly transmitted his voice. Chapter 5593. Inside the divine realm, Lin Xian was cultivating. Suddenly, a bell on his body shook, and the voice of the Crimson Dragon came from inside. "Brat, come out quickly. This is a great fortune. We have all broken through." After Lin Xian heard this, his eyes lit up. It seemed that the mysterious space above had finally descended, and a great fortune had arrived. With a sway of his body, Lin Xian walked out of the sword world. When he came out, he changed his body because he felt the power descending from the sky. It was too terrifying. It was incomparably vast. He looked up at the sky. What was this? It was actually so terrifying. The dragon said, "This is called the celestial ground, just like the divine realm in your body." However, the divine realm had been shattered and withered before and was currently recovering. But the celestial ground was different. Although the celestial ground had experienced battles, it had not been shattered. It was just that it was drifting in the wilderness. It would only appear in certain years, and every time it appeared, it would be a golden age for cultivation. "Kid, this is your chance." Hearing this, Lin Xian clenched his fists. The space above was called the celestial ground. Lin Xian took a deep breath. At the side, Morong Qingcheng and the others saw Lin Xian come out and hurried over. However, when they sensed the aura on Lin Xian's body, they were shocked. "Brother Xian, did you break through?" Morong Qingcheng and the others exclaimed. It was too unbelievable. Lin Xian's aura was much stronger than before, even stronger than theirs. They were already the Triple Crown champions, but Lin Xian was even stronger. Could it be that he was the Quadruple Crown champion? Lin Xian had become the Quadruple Crown champion without going through the power of the celestial ground. It was truly shocking. Lin Xian looked at Morong Qingcheng and the others in shock. Qingcheng and the others had actually broken through to become the Triple Crown champions. This speed was indeed surprising to him, and from the looks of it, the celestial ground enveloped the universe. There would probably be many people who would break through. Lin Xian recalled the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Back then, the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty was filled with immortals. Was this the situation? Boom. He threw his head back and roared. all kinds of laws, the heavens battle diagram, the Tai Chi diagram, and his divine body opened up again to absorb the power. However, he soon frowned. Although his strength had increased, he found that he did not break through again. On the other hand, Murong Qingcheng and the others had already broken through to become Triple Crown champions. However, their progress was slowly coming to a halt. From the looks of it, the Triple Crown was his limit. If he wanted a better breakthrough, he would have to go all the way to the Immortal Land. However, this was already good news for Lin Xian. Lin Xian had just broken through to become a quadruple crown king, and with the power of the immortal soil, his cultivation level had completely stabilized. Not only that, Lin Xian even felt that he had improved. He took a deep breath, but he didn't soar into the air. Instead, he asked Dalong, "What I cultivate is the seed of divine flame. This is called celestial soil. Will it suppress or repel me?" "No, don't worry. Your enemy is Higan." The other shore was in the immortal ground, but there was more than that. The celestial ground was vast. As long as you don't meet anyone else, everything will be fine. Lin Xian understood now. If the immortal soil was a world, then Higan should be the overlord of the immortal soil. His enemy was the otherworld heavenly king, not the celestial ground. With that, Lin Xian was able to relax. This way, he could also absorb some of the treasures and opportunities in the immortal soil. The Great Tao Convergence. At this moment, Lin Xian finally understood. Many people in the Yi family had broken through. Even the elders were overjoyed. Yi Wudao sighed. He was still a triple crown champion, not a quadruple crown champion. However, his strength had increased by a large margin. It seemed that he had to go in personally. Not only him, but the light-shaking realm in the universe also felt it. He was also a triple crown champion. 9 firmaments, Sub-Emperor said. Although the future is mysterious, what you feel now is just a trace of the immortal soil's aura. Triple crown champion is the limit. If you want to break through, you can enter the immortal soil and become a quadruple crown champion. Becoming a quintuple crown champion, or even an emperor, wouldn't be a problem. She was extremely excited because he was about to recover. Light-shaking realm's eyes shone, but he was vigilant. Previously, he was able to survive with 9 firmaments, Sub-Emperor, because they each had their own needs. 9 firmaments, Sub-Emperor, needed his strength, and he needed some of 9 firmaments, Sub-Emperor's knowledge. However, the situation seemed to have changed. Although he had become a triple crown champion, he was still not a Sub-Emperor. If 9 firmaments, Sub-Emperor's strength recovered, would he still help him? Would he kill him or take over his body? These were all fatal questions. Light-shaking realm had to think of a way out for himself. Therefore, he looked up at the sky and didn't act rashly. Although he didn't move, someone else had already moved. Another member of the Twins of Destiny broke through. Among them, more than a dozen figures rose into the sky. Among them were a few elders and even a triple crown champion, a young genius. They had just broken through. They charged directly toward the immortal soil. This kind of breakthrough made them ecstatic. If they entered the immortal soil, they might become immortals in a day. Therefore, how could they miss it? Countless people looked up at the sky. Oh no, did he beat them to it? We're almost there too. The other families and sects rose into the sky one after another, not only on planet Burial, but all the people in the universe also rose into the sky, wanting to enter the path of immortality. Boom. Suddenly, there was a roar, followed by screams. Everyone's scalp went numb. Those who rose into the sky were also stunned, because they saw more than a dozen figures of the Twins of Destiny turn into dazzling lights in an instant. Then a rain of blood fell. Those elders, including Triple Crown Champion, were killed in an instant. Their bodies and souls were destroyed. Those who still wanted to enter the immortal soil all stopped in their tracks. Damn it, what's going on? Is this the immortal soil or hell? Why is it so terrifying? Can't they go in? Some people were desperate. It was as if a huge treasure was right in front of them, but there was a cage that locked them up. They could only watch, but they couldn't go in. This feeling was too uncomfortable. No. Why is it like this? These people have gone crazy. Roars came from all over the universe. The Purple Mansion Master also looked up at the sky. The people of the Purple Mansion were also excited. They also wanted to attack. However, the Purple Mansion Master said, "Stop if you don't want to die." Those people stopped, seeing fate. When the people of the Gemini clan fell, they sucked in a breath of cold air. Great, if the Purple Mansion Master didn't remind them, they would definitely be dead, said the chief of the purple government with a cold smile. What an idiot! Even though the celestial ground had appeared, it was still too late. Although the immortal soil has appeared, it hasn't completely stabilized yet. If they go in now, they will be torn to pieces by that supreme force. Wait, when the immortal soil stabilizes, they can go in. He was not in a hurry. He had waited for so many years. He didn't care about this day. 1 or 2 months or even 1 or 2 years, so what? Anyway, the immortal soil had already come out. It was only a matter of time before they went in. The others gradually calmed down after their initial panic. They were no longer anxious. Instead, they started to analyze. They also felt that the force above was terrifying and mysterious. However, it was extremely cold. It seemed that it hadn't stabilized yet. Therefore, they started to wait patiently. They knew that the process wouldn't be too long. Even if they didn't go in, the force that fell down was enough to make them go wild with joy. Divine union. Everyone had a breakthrough. Murong Qingcheng, Yanruyu, and Xueqi had all become Triple Crown champions. Toad, Crimson Dragon, and Fu Hongya had all become Double Crown champions. Nailan Liang, Shangguan Xiaoxian, and the others had also become Triple Crown champions. The others also had a breakthrough, which made them really happy. The overall strength of the Divine Union had increased. Lin Xian, you are out. The North Demon had also come. He had also experienced a breakthrough. He looked at Lin Xian and said, "Master, I have a message for you." Chapter 55-94. What about Heishan? What did he have to say to me? Lin Xian was surprised when he heard that. He hadn't seen this guy in a long time. Northern Monster said, "His master said that Permitha was extremely terrifying. He told you not to start a fight with them and to accumulate strength in secret. Finally, he would make a move against them. He absolutely could not let them catch him." The Permitha? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes when he heard that. He took a deep breath. "Don't worry, I know." Lin Xian's eyes shone coldly. Would it not be long before he would be able to see his true enemy? Then he patted Northern Demon's shoulder. "Long time no see. Let's have a drink later." Northern Demon nodded. Then he was shocked. "You're already a quadruple crown king? Why do I feel that you're even more terrifying than a triple crown king?" Murong, Qingcheng, Yanruyu, and the others also sensed it. They all looked over. And Hong and the others were shocked. Lin Xian's aura was too mysterious. It was even stronger than before. Once released, it seemed like it could suppress them. Lin Xian said, "He was indeed a quadruple crown king. That's great." Murong, Qingcheng, and the others were overjoyed. If Lin Xian was truly strong, he would be about as strong as a quasi-emperor. This way, they would have a much higher chance of winning against their enemies. Northern Demon said, "From what I know, many people have broken through. Some top geniuses have even become Triple Crown kings. There are even more people from great emperor clans. This doesn't include the 2 forbidden lands." "That's true." Bai Susu also said, "According to the information we gathered, Kunpengzi and Fire Qilin are already Triple Crown kings. Other than that, a few people have also become Triple Crown kings. The others also made corresponding breakthroughs. Some living fossils have also become stronger. It's all because of the space above. Is it because of the celestial ground? Lin Xian looked up at the sky and said, "It's all thanks to him that my cultivation as a quadruple crown king has stabilized. It even improved a lot." Celestial ground? Bai Susu and the others were shocked. Is that the name of the mysterious space? Heavens, could it really be related to immortals? Lin Xian nodded, and then said, "The celestial land has appeared, and you all have broken through. In fact, you are very close to the boundary emperor stage. In the future, when you enter the deity ground, all of you have a chance to become quasi-emperors. I'll tell you some secrets now." Hearing this, Bai Susu and the others grew excited. "What secret?" Lin Xian said. "Do you know the difference between a quasi-emperor and a Saint Master? Wasn't his cultivation higher?" Naylan Liang said. Lin Xian said that this was only one of the reasons. The difference between a quasi-emperor and a divine lord was that quasi-emperors could condense a kind of power. This power was above that of the sacred ancestor. What kind of power was that? Bai Susu and the others were very curious. Lin Xian formed a hand seal, and a divine flame mark appeared between his eyebrows. A terrifying flame, aura filled the air. Everyone acted as if they were facing a great enemy. It was as if they were going to worship him. This power was called the divine flame seed. This was the power of a quasi-emperor. Of course, the other quasi-emperors should be condensing immortal chi seeds. Seed of divine flame. Seed of immortal chi. Too powerful. Was this the power of a quasi-emperor? They were surprised. No wonder he could definitely surpass the saints. It turned out that the power he cultivated was different. However, what shocked them even more was that Lin Xian also had such power. What was more terrifying was that Lin Xian was not a quasi-emperor yet. Once Lin Xian became a quasi-emperor, he would probably be even more terrifying. Lin Xian told them more about the divine flame seed and the divine flame seed. After all, in his opinion, many of his friends would become quasi-emperors in the future. This world had changed. This was a golden age. No one knew how great the changes would be in the future. He gave them some information in advance. In the following time, everyone waited patiently for the celestial ground to stabilize. At the same time, something else happened. Before the battle, these people's strength improved by leaps and bounds. Some even broke through and became the Triple Crown champion. How could they hide such joy? They had to release it. Therefore, the battle broke out. Kunpengzi and Qilinzi had been looking for people to fight. The two of them even had a fight. The others also made their moves one after another. Battles broke out every day. Every day, there were new people rising. The people of the Divine Union were extremely quiet. They knew that this was just the beginning. It was too early to attack. They had to gather their strength and wait for the celestial ground to become quasi-emperors. The people of the Forbidden Lifelands did not attack. The people of the Purple Mansion also waited patiently. On the contrary, the ancient families attacked quickly. They seemed to want to challenge the monarch race. Some people even came to challenge the Divine Union. In the end, Bai Susu, the Toad, the Crimson Dragon, and the others defeated them. The Fire Qilin also came. He was ready to challenge Lin Xian. Previously, he had been suppressed by Lin Xian and was very unhappy. Now that he had broken through and become the Triple Crown champion, he decided to challenge Lin Xian. He wanted to defeat Lin Xian and rebuild his confidence. He wanted to trample on Lin Xian. "Lin Wuti, come out and fight with me." A loud voice rang out. The people of the ancient city also looked up. It was the Qilinzi. Had he broken through and become the Triple Crown champion? Had he come to challenge Lin Xian? No way. Although he had received benefits, Lin Wuti had been the Triple Crown champion before. With such good fortune, he should be even more powerful. Some people said that it was not certain. Yi Wudao had been the Triple Crown champion before, but there was news that he had received good fortune to improve his strength. So now it seemed that Lin Wuyi was only the Triple Crown champion. The Qilin Zi might be able to fight. You are no match for me. Lin Xian's voice rang out. He did not even go out. This made many people frown. Lin Wuyi was too arrogant, wasn't he? That was right. Now that the world had changed, the celestial ground had descended. The strong would overturn everything. The strong might not be able to laugh now, but the later generation might be able to surpass them. Why was Lin Wuyi still so arrogant? Those who said this were all people who had improved their strength. They were extremely arrogant. In their opinion, they could challenge everything. So, they naturally wanted to start with the strongest person, and that was Lin Wuyi. If Lin Wuyi was defeated, it meant that a new era had arrived. The Fire Qilin also said, Lin Wuyi, today is different. In the past, you were strong, high and mighty, but now the era is different. The era of immortals has arrived, and I have broken through. Come out and fight with me. This guy is really courting death. The Crimson Dragon and the others frowned. Kid, go out and slap him to death. The Toad also said, yeah, what was he so arrogant for? He was just a Triple Crown champion. You are already a Quadruple Crown champion. Killing him is as easy as flipping a hand. Lin Xian opened his eyes. He waved his hand and opened the array. Come in if you want. I am not afraid of you. Today, I am here to fight. If anyone dares to sneak up on me, don't blame the Qilin clan for being merciless. The Qilin Zi was not afraid. He strode in. Chapter 5595. Inside the Divine Union, countless people looked at the Fire Qilin. The Fire Qilin sneered. Lin Wuyi, come out. I'm here for a one-on-one. Don't tell me you're so cowardly that you don't dare to fight me? Stupid thing. I advise you to get lost now. The Crimson God sneered. The Toad also said, Idiot. Water must have entered your brain. How dare you come here? I'll see how you die later. What are you two talking about? The Qilin child took a step forward, and the power of the Triple Crown King erupted. The Qilin phantom roared at the sky. Outside, some people were still waiting. They actually went in to fight. They couldn't see it. What a pity. They didn't know who would win. Look, that's the Qilin phantom. Could it be that they had already fought? These people could only wait outside the Divine Union. Humph, I'm not afraid of you. The Toad snorted. The Crimson Dragon also said, Come, I'll fight 300 rounds with you. However, at this moment, Lin Xian walked over and said, Do you want to fight me? I advise you not to do so. Lin Wuyi, you're too arrogant. I'll let you know my ultimate technique. The Qilin child's eyes shone coldly. Lin Xian shook his head. You're too ignorant. I'll let you see my power. The next moment, she raised her head and looked at the Qilin child. The power of the Quadruple Crown King swept out. At this moment, the entire cave shook violently. Even the 9 heavens were shattering. The earth continued to rumble and churn. The smile on the Qilin child's face disappeared and was replaced by fear. His body trembled. He couldn't help but want to kneel down. He looked up at the sky and raged. His imperial bloodline was unleashed to the extreme. A Qilin roared at the sky and surrounded him. Countless cracks appeared on the Qilin. He took 3 steps back and spat out a mouthful of blood. His face turned incomparably pale. You've surpassed the Triple Crown King. You've broken through. This is impossible. He had really gone crazy. Before coming, he had received news that Yi Wudao had not broken through. No one could become the Quadruple Crown King. Therefore, in his opinion, it was impossible for Lin Wuyi. However, Lin Wuyi had become the Quadruple Crown King, completely surpassing him. It would be a piece of cake for the other party to kill him. Thinking of this, he broke out in a cold sweat. Don't misunderstand. I was just joking with you. I just wanted to see what realm you've broken through to. Goodbye. After saying that, he turned around and wanted to run. In an instant, he tore open the void and arrived outside the divine union. The people waiting outside were also stunned when they saw this scene. What's going on? The fire Qilin actually came out. Could it be that the battle had ended? He didn't seem to be badly injured. Could it be that he had already defeated Lin Wudy? Oh, God. Was Lin Wudy trampled? It was too unbelievable. It seemed like the ranking of the geniuses had changed, and the latecomers had caught up. Countless people were shocked. If this news were to spread, it would probably shake the entire universe. The fire Qilin didn't care about what these people thought. He turned around and wanted to leave. At this moment, Lin Xian's voice came from below. Did I say you could leave? Wang. The fire Qilin's fleeing figure stopped, revealing an expression that was uglier than crying. The surrounding people were also shocked. It was Lin Wudy's voice. He wasn't dead. What was going on? The fire Qilin stopped running. Could Lin Wudy's voice have scared the fire Qilin? Impossible. No matter how strong Lin Wudy was, he was only a triple champion. Even if he could defeat Lin Wudy, it would be with his full strength. After all, it wouldn't be easy for him to win in a battle of the same level. Countless people analyzed and discussed. The fire Qilin said, "What do you want? You can think for yourself what I want. I don't have a good temper." Lin Xian said coldly, "Did these people think that they could challenge him just because they had improved their strength? What a joke." The fire Qilin's expression changed. In the end, he sighed, knowing that he had kicked an iron plate. Forget it, this guy was ruthless. He didn't want to experience the fate of the 10,000 dragon court again. Thus he took a deep breath and cupped his fists. "Lin Gongzi, I was wrong. I apologize to you. I won't dare challenge you again. Please spare me this time." This scene was like being struck by lightning, causing the spectators to be dumbfounded. Oh, God, what was going on? The fire Qilin apologized. Oh, God. Could it be that the fire Qilin was defeated? Damn it, what just happened? I didn't see anything. Countless people exclaimed. They had all gone crazy. The fire Qilin had broken through and become a triple champion. Her strength had undergone a tremendous change. She was now a top expert. Even so, she had to lower her head in front of Lin Xian. What level had Lin Wudy reached? He was too unfathomable. Lin Xian said, "Not enough. Cut off your own arms and leave your storage ring behind." His voice wasn't loud, but it spread clearly in the surroundings. Everyone's pupils constricted. F***CK. An apology wasn't enough. Lin Wudy was too arrogant. The fire Qilin definitely wouldn't do that. The fire Qilin was a Dvarch with a Dvarch family behind her. She would definitely dare to challenge the divine union. Countless people analyzed. However, the fire Qilin gritted her teeth. A terrifying flaming blade appeared on her body and cut off her arms. At the same time, she threw the storage ring away. He said, "Are you satisfied?" What? The fire Qilin really cut off her own arms. Wow. What the heavens? Was the fire Qilin so afraid? What had Lin Wudy done? Everyone was even more curious about what had happened before. Lin Xian waved his hand, grabbed the storage ring, and said, "This is the last time. This is the last time. I'll spare your life. Next time, if you challenge me again, I'll destroy your soul. Get lost." Hearing this, the fire Qilin's face darkened. She gritted her teeth and turned to leave. She probably wouldn't dare to challenge Lin Xian again in this life. Did she leave? The people watching from afar were shocked. The fire Qilin had come aggressively. They had thought that there would be a fierce battle. Who would have thought that it wouldn't be the case? The fire Qilin cut off her own arms, bowed her head, apologized, and fled in a hurry. Lin Xian didn't even appear from the beginning to the end. He had won just like that. The news spread throughout Burial Earth. Those people were shocked. Some of the large family members also gasped. They had originally wanted to challenge Lin Xian, but now it seemed impossible. They were all hesitating. Lin Wuti was unfathomable now. They couldn't provoke him easily. Forget it, they'd better wait first. After entering the deity ground, they would increase their strength and challenge that kid again. Countless discussions could be heard. The people of the Fire Qilin clan were also shocked when they saw the Fire Qilin return. Their Highness was injured. How could you be defeated? Your Highness, did that brat use an extreme-grade weapon? Damn it, we'll take revenge for you. Some elders were ready to use extreme weapons to take revenge. However, the Fire Qilin's words frightened them. Don't go. Lin Wuti is already a quadruple champion. I'm no match for him. He's already giving the Fire Qilin clan a lot of face by not killing me. Chapter 5596. The Qilin clan's anger was extinguished instantly. They looked terrified. Quadruple crown champion. They used all their strength to shout out these few words. How was that possible? Wasn't it said that the Triple Crown champion was the highest? How did Lin Wuti do it? I don't know. I'm very annoyed now. Don't bother with me, the Qilin son said coldly. He turned around and went into seclusion. The surrounding Qilin elders also sighed after seeing this. They were like rubber balls that had lost their air. His Highness seemed to have suffered a heavy blow. Lin Wuti was too monstrous. Anyone who went up against him would be affected. The news of Lin Xian taking the Qilin son away spread throughout the burial Earth Star. Lin Xian didn't care. The Qilin son couldn't be his enemy now, unless the Qilin son had a fortuitous encounter and improved by leaps and bounds. Otherwise, the Qilin son wouldn't be able to catch up with him in this lifetime. The aura of the celestial ground in the sky was getting more and more stable. Everyone was happy. It seemed like it wouldn't be long before they could enter. The people of the Purple Mansion were even more excited. The Purple Mansion master's eyes shone brightly. Soon, I can feel their power. Lin Xian looked solemn. He could also feel that they didn't have much time. He should be able to enter soon. There might be an earth-shattering battle when the time came. However, on this day, an aurora streaked across the sky. It was very fast and very careful. It didn't alert anyone. It only released a few auras when it came to the divine union. Lin Xian suddenly rose into the sky. Murong Qingcheng and the others exclaimed. Who was it? They could feel a terrifying power. Lin Xian said, Old friend. Greetings, Senior Black Tortoise. The aura in the sky turned into a black tortoise. He smiled and said, Kid, your soul is getting stronger. You found out it was me in an instant. Murong Qingcheng, the Crimson Dragon, and the others also bowed. They didn't know why this extreme weapon had come. The black tortoise looked at Lin Xian in surprise. You're already a quadruple crown champion? He was indeed powerful. No wonder the divine flame thought highly of him. Lin Xian smiled. Senior, you flatter me. The black tortoise nodded and then changed the topic. Although you've broken through, I still have to give you a reminder. This time, the arrival of the deity ground was probably brought forward by 100 years. The specific reason was unknown. However, some of our methods haven't been fully formed yet, so it will be very difficult to stop them when the time comes. Especially you, little guy. You'll probably be the main target, so we can't let Higan descend so soon. Bai Susu asked, Senior, is Higan very powerful? We have 3 extreme weapons on our side. In addition to the 3 seniors, how could they not be able to defeat them? Indeed, 6 extreme-grade weapons were enough to defeat any great emperor clan. However, the black tortoise shook his head. You've underestimated the heavenly king. You don't understand the deity ground at all. The power of the Permitha is beyond your imagination. It is an existence that overrides everything, not to mention us. Even if we doubled our strength, we still wouldn't be a match for him. What? Was he that powerful? Bai Susu and the others were dumbfounded. Not even twice as much power? They felt a sense of despair. Lin Xian also took a deep breath. He asked Senior, "What can we do?" The Black Tortoise said, "We'll activate the Book of Heavenly Tao to stop Higan and prevent him from descending in advance. The Heavens battle map that you took previously is one of the pages of the Book of Heavenly Tao." "All right." Lin Xian nodded. With a wave of his hand, he took out the Heavens battle map. The battle map turned back into the Book of Heavenly Tao. The Black Tortoise said, "All right, kid, leave the rest to us. We'll activate the Book of Heavenly Tao." The Black Tortoise left, leaving the Divine Union in shock. How powerful was the Heavenly King? Lin Xian wasn't very sure either. He only knew that the enemy was very strong and had at least the strength of a half-step emperor. Was there a true great emperor? He didn't know. However, based on the extreme grade weapons and the others' expressions, there might really be a complete great emperor on the Heavenly King. If that was the case, things wouldn't be good. Lin Xian entered the sword world again and worked hard to cultivate. He wanted to break through and become a half-step emperor in advance. After the Black Tortoise returned, he integrated the page of the Heavens battle map into the broken book. In the blink of an eye, the 3 ultimate weapons were activated. This was the ancient heavenly tome. A ray of light tore through the void, shot up to the 9 heavens, and entered the deity ground. Then, a radiance bloomed on the deity ground. "Heavens, what's going on? Is there another change? Can we go in?" Everyone looked up at the celestial ground with great excitement. They realized that there seemed to be an additional ancient book there. What was that? Countless people were curious. The ancient book in the sky bloomed with radiance. An endless great Tao descended. It engulfed everything. After the Purple Mansion Master saw it, his pupils constricted. Damn it, he felt that it was a kind of imprisoning power. Was someone trying to stop it from descending? Damn it. At the same time, a cold voice came from Mount Eternal. The Book of Heavenly Tao actually still existed. Fortunately, it wasn't the one who sealed us. In addition, a cold laugh came from the desolate tomb. In the deity ground, a mournful roar came. "How dare you seal us? A mere broken book of Heavenly Tao." In the next moment, they saw a claw coming towards them from the celestial ground. Heaven and earth shook, and countless people's scalps went numb. They felt that there seemed to be a battle between gods above. It was the supreme powerhouse in the deity ground. There was actually someone in the deity ground. Was it an immortal? Countless people went crazy. At the same time, they were even more shocked. What was the Book of Heavenly Tao? It even dared to seal an immortal? Buzz. After the attack, the Book of Heavenly Tao shook violently, and the radiance on it dimmed a little. However, it didn't disappear. Instead, it continued to use the laws. There seemed to be a kind of Heavenly Tao law slowly forming in it. Damn it, that huge green claw attacked once again, crazily attacking. However, it seemed to be unable to shake the Book of Heavenly Tao. The 3 extreme grade weapons of the extreme Tao world snorted when they saw this scene. You can't break half of the green-robed great emperor. What if I join in? At this moment, another figure appeared in the deity ground. The figure was blurry, but it was incomparably majestic. He was like a peerless god of war. His appearance caused the Book of Heavenly Tao to shake violently. Damn it, it's actually him. Black Tortoise and the others exclaimed. He actually came out too? The situation is not good. It seems that things are really out of our expectations this time. It's over. The Book of Heavenly Tao is not complete. It can't stop him at all. If he makes a move, the Permitha will really descend. It seems that we can only send away some seeds of hope. The 3 extreme grade weapons expressions were extremely ugly. Heavenly Court, Black Mountain, and the others were also paying close attention. When they saw the figure appear, their expressions also changed. At the same time, even the Chaos Quasi-Emperor and the people of Mount Eternal gasped. Chapter 5597. In the depths of the universe, there was an endless black vortex. Inside was Lord Alcohol. He frowned as he looked at the figure in the sky. It was earlier than expected, but it was not a hopeless situation. There was still a way. His eyes flickered with a cold light. All these years, they had also been plotting. Therefore, if they really had no choice, they would fight. It was no big deal. Divine union. Lin Xian also felt a huge pressure. He even felt a familiar aura. He walked out of the sword world and frowned when he saw the purplish-green claws in the sky. Green-robed Great Emperor. This was the other half of the frog. He would never forget this aura. It seemed like the frog was getting impatient. Did it want to come out early? Could it be that the Book of Heavenly Tao could not seal it? However, when he saw the Book of Heavenly Tao, he was stunned. This was because it looked very familiar. Wasn't this the broken book he saw in the Valley of the Sword World? At that time, he felt that it was extremely mysterious, but he couldn't get close. He didn't expect it to be the Book of Heavenly Tao. Could it be that the Book of Heavenly Tao in the sky was the same as the one in his sword world? Lin Xian asked DeLong about this matter. DeLong was also surprised. That's right, kid. Did you really find the other half? Lin Xian nodded. DeLong said to see if there was any way to get it out. The combination of the two should be able to successfully seal the other side for a period of time. Lin Xian nodded. He could see that the situation was very dangerous. In addition to the half of the frog in the sky, there was also the figure of a man. The aura on his body was no weaker than the half of the frog. This was very likely a true Great Emperor. Of course, this was only Lin Xian's guess. In addition, the Book of Heavenly Tao was also extremely mysterious. Even a Great Emperor might not be able to completely break it. Lin Xian entered the sword world and arrived at the mysterious valley. There was a broken book inside, emitting an ancient aura. It seemed that he could only use the heaven-swallowing jar to swallow it, and then send it out. Lin Xian took out the heaven-swallowing crown and began to devour. A huge black vortex quickly appeared. Above the 9 heavens, everyone was nervously watching because every once in a while, there would be a violent rumble that spread throughout the heavens like heavenly thunder. Everyone knew that a fierce attack was taking place in the celestial ground. They weren't sure if the person inside could come out. Once such a terrifying person came out, who would be able to fight against him? Headmaster Z sneered. What a foolish thing. Did he really think that he could contend against them? Just you wait. When we descend, all of you will die. He was so confident that he didn't care about the other half of the Book of Heavenly Tao at all. However, a few days later, when the other half of the Book of Heavenly Tao was about to fall, another ray of light rose up. Everyone realized that another half of the broken book had flown out. As soon as the scroll appeared, it merged with the Book of Heavenly Tao in the sky and formed a complete scroll. Radiance blossomed between heaven and earth. At this moment, the terrifying might of the Heavenly Tao was extremely terrifying. It was as if a heavenly god had been resurrected. The 2 figures that were about to appear were instantly blocked. Damn it, the complete Book of Heavenly Tao. No, it was already broken. How could it appear again? Frenzied roars could be heard. However, no one answered. The Book of Heavenly Tao flew out from inside. The 9 ancient words were nailed into heaven and earth, and even sank into the celestial ground. The 2 silhouettes also slowly disappeared under the attack of this power. Damn it, only a resentful voice was left. Was it blocked? The headmaster of Z Mansion was also dumbfounded. How could this be? Who was it? Who was it that still had the other half of the Book of Heavenly Tao? In the extreme Tao world, The three extreme Dao weapons were also stunned. They had already prepared for the worst. They were prepared to use the remaining power to send some seeds of hope away. However, they didn't expect the situation to be reversed. The book of heavenly Tao had completely merged. Who was it? Even they didn't know. Back then, the book of heavenly Tao had been broken in the battle. They only had half of it, and they couldn't find the other half. It seemed that some people had already awakened. That's great, we're finally not fighting alone. The three extreme Tao weapons were overjoyed. Although they couldn't seal the other shore forever, they could extend it for a period of time and provide them with an opportunity. When the 9 ancient words appeared in the book of heavenly Tao to resist the other shore, the celestial ground was completely stabilized. Everyone seemed to feel that an immortal realm had descended in front of them. On this day, someone finally tried to enter. They found that they weren't killed. They really entered that space and stepped onto the ground of the celestial ground. Those people were so excited that they cried. They knelt on the ground and kept kowtowing. This was a golden age. Even those from the monarch races couldn't help but make a move. They also descended. Feeling the terrifying aura and heavy pressure around them, they were extremely excited. Had they returned to the primordial age? Legend had it that in the primordial age, there were countless experts. They had once created the 10,000 ancient races. Their cultivation had reached the peak. However, after that era ended, they declined. In the end, many of the 10,000 ancient races had disappeared. Now that the celestial ground had descended, it seemed like it was going to restart the primordial age. This was their chance. This time, someone would definitely become a monarch. They even felt that there might be more than one. Moreover, there might be hope for them to become an immortal. This was because this world was too mysterious. The people from the monarch races quickly mobilized their disciples and experts to explore. The other ancient families and great sects also entered. It wasn't just Burial Earth Star. There were people from all over the universe who went there. This was a matter of the entire universe. A piece of the celestial ground descended into the universe. It was too vast and boundless. It seemed to cover the entire universe. Let's go. Lin Xian also came out of seclusion on this day. He led Murong Qingcheng and the others from the Divine Union and soared into the sky. Everyone finally landed on the celestial ground. What a terrifying aura! Murong Qingcheng and the others exclaimed. The moment they stepped into the celestial ground, the pressure increased by more than 10 times. It felt like it was dozens or even hundreds of times stronger. It was too terrifying. This also showed that the power of heaven and earth in this place far exceeded that of Burial Earth Star or any other world. Here, they would be able to obtain even greater opportunities. Everyone felt the pressure. However, there was one exception, and that was Lin Xian. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes when he felt the power of the celestial ground. The pressure was similar to that of the sword world. Lin Xian had already adapted to the pressure in the sword world. Therefore, he was like a fish in water here. After taking a deep breath, Lin Xian said, Ruzalong, Qingcheng, split the divine union into several groups and enter from different directions. Don't go too far at first. Check out the situation first and gather information. I think there shouldn't be too much danger at first. Chapter 5598. Lin Xian split into 3 groups. He, Yan Ruyu, and Murong Qingcheng each led a group of divine adorable beasts. All 3 of them had extreme grade weapons, so even if there was danger, they could retreat safely. Lin Xian was followed by Xueqi, Nalan Liang, and the others. They walked cautiously. The ancient trees around them towered into the sky, and the scenery here was 10 times or even 100 times more magnificent than on planet Tibetan. The ancient trees here were like immortal trees, and the aura of the great path surrounding them was too terrifying. However, there were no fruits hanging down. This caused Whitey to sigh. Whitey blinked its big eyes and kept probing. It babbled, "This space is too mysterious. I can't explore it clearly." When the sky turned dark, Lin Xian stopped. He knew that this world was extremely terrifying. It was better not to act rashly. They stopped to rest. Some people took the risk to move forward. However, in the latter half of the night, screams were heard. The screams pierced through the sky, making the scalps of countless explorers go numb. They didn't know what they had encountered. When the sun rose the next day, they found some corpses that were badly mutilated. They seemed to be from the Stone Clan. Their defense was unparalleled, and their strength was boundless. Did they die? They felt that this person's cultivation seemed to be at the level of the Double Crown King. What on earth did they experience? Were they killed by the mysterious existence in this deity ground? Or were they killed by other clans? No one knew. When Lin Xian arrived, he also saw this scene. He opened his Rinnegan. He also didn't understand. He asked DeLong if there were any living beings. DeLong said that there were, but there shouldn't be many of them outside. The deity ground was vast and boundless. Lin Xian and the others were only at the outermost area, so there shouldn't be any danger. However, they couldn't be sure. What if there were some supreme living beings wandering around, waiting to be hunted? They continued their journey. Lin Xian and the others had extreme-grade weapons, so they were at ease. They continued their search. Along the way, they saw mountains and rivers. The mountains were millions of miles high, like immortal mountains. The river water was even more terrifying. It was bottomless. Even a divine ancestor would be instantly swallowed if he went in. Even though there were opportunities in the celestial land, there were dangers as well. In just a few days, many people had already fallen. The people from the Purple Mansion also went in. House Master Z didn't care about any fortuitous encounter at all. She flew towards the depths of the immortal land like a madwoman. Damn it! Initially, they had thought that they would be able to rule over the world after descending. But who would have thought that there would be a Book of Heaven's path blocking their path? The people of the other world, Heavenly King, couldn't come out at all. Damn the rules, damn it. Since the other party couldn't come out, he could only go in. However, with the power of the celestial land, even with his strength, it was very difficult for him to walk. After walking for a few days, he was on the verge of breaking down. On the other side, Yao Guang had also entered. He was incredibly excited. In his mind, the Emperor of the Nine Firmaments was roaring. Who is this bastard? Don't let me find out who released the Heavenly Tao ancient book. Otherwise, I will definitely tear that person into pieces. Yao Guang was very happy. The people of the Permethar realm could not descend, and this Nine Firmament Quasi-Emperor could not recover. He was temporarily safe. He said, "Tell me where the fortuitous encounter is first. If my strength increases, that's good too. I'll help you take revenge." Well, let's see if I remember. The Nine Firmament Quasi-Emperor gritted his teeth and said, in the next few days, Yao Guang set off. On this day, he found a broken ruin in front of him. He didn't know what it was made of. Although it was broken, the great Tao on it was incomparably terrifying. Even with his identity as the Yao Guang Triple Crown Champion, he couldn't see through it. This should be a supreme palace. Could it be that a great emperor had lived here before? He was overjoyed. If he could devour the corpse of a great emperor, who would he be afraid of? He couldn't wait to rush over. The Nine Firmament Quasi-Emperor reminded you to be careful. This celestial land was very mysterious, but Yao Guang didn't care. His heaven-swallowing demonic technique was very powerful. It could definitely devour everything. He attacked crazily, striking the ground with his palm. With a loud boom, the ground split open and a crack appeared. Yao Guang frowned. The celestial land was much more terrifying than the burial Earth Star. On the burial Earth Star, his attack would definitely be able to pierce through heaven and earth. However, here He only managed to create a crack that was 100 meters long. One could imagine how sturdy the celestial land was. He continuously struck with his palm hundreds of times before he managed to create a deep hole. With a clang, there was metal below. Yao Guang was overjoyed and increased his speed. Finally, he dug out an ancient coffin. The broken ancient coffin emitted a cold aura. "Great, let me see what's inside," the nine-firmament quasi-emperor said. "Wait, let me check." However, it was already too late. Yao Guang was too anxious. He urgently needed power, so he ignored the nine-firmament quasi-emperor and directly opened the ancient coffin. After opening it, he regretted it. A black wind blew past, and the sound of bones rubbing against each other came from the ancient coffin. In the next instant, a black shadow swept past, and Yao Guang was sent flying. Half of his body shattered. "Damn it, what is this thing?" His pupils constricted, and his shattered body recovered. The heaven-swallowing demonic technique created an endless black vortex around him that could devour heaven and earth. He charged forward. However, the ancient coffin in front of him stood up. The figure was covered in black scales and was incomparably terrifying. With a claw, it tore open the black vortex. Then it laughed sinisterly. The nine-firmament quasi-emperor's expression changed, and he quickly fled. Damn it! The corpse of a quasi-emperor, six-crown king. Hearing this, Yao Guang turned around and ran. He was only the triple-crown king. Six-crown king was much stronger than him. Furthermore, this corpse was still alive. The celestial ground was too strange. Just by casually digging, a six-crown king appeared. Boom! Yao Guang's back split open. A black claw pierced his heart, severely injuring him. Damn it! Boundless light appeared on Yao Guang's body as he pushed his strength to the limit. The nine-firmament quasi-emperor had no choice but to use his soul laws again. With the two working together, Yao Guang tore open the void and disappeared. Six-crown king did not chase after the corpse that came out. He looked around coldly and laughed sinisterly. Then he disappeared. In another space, Yao Guang came out covered in blood. Damn it, he gritted his teeth. The nine-firmament quasi-emperor also said, "Didn't I warn you before? Don't act rashly. This is not planet Tibetan. This is not any world in the universe. This is the celestial ground. Even I don't know the secrets here. You are actually so bold. Aren't you afraid that you will really dig out a martial emperor?" Yao Guang's expression was unsightly. Originally, he thought that the Triple Crown King had nothing to fear. He even dared to challenge a quasi-emperor. However, it looked like he was too naive. The horror of this world far exceeded his imagination. He said, "I know. I will listen to you in the future." The nine-firmament quasi-emperor snorted coldly, and his voice softened. Back then, a supreme war happened in this celestial ground. More than one martial emperor fell here. Hence, anything could happen. You have to be extremely careful. Chapter 5599. For the next period of time, everyone was very careful. Nothing much happened. The Qilin clan had almost mobilized the power of their clan to search. The son of the Qilin clan looked extremely solemn. Last time, he lost to Lin Xian, which made him feel despair. However, he was still able to adjust. He knew that the resources of the immortal land were really too vast. As long as he could find enough treasures here, he could rise again. This was his last hope. He would not miss out on any possibilities. "Your Highness, don't work too hard. We still have time." An elder next to him said in a deep voice. The son of the Qilin clan nodded and said, "I know. This area is almost cleaned up. Let's go in and take a look tomorrow." The surrounding people nodded. They all sat down cross-legged and began to cultivate and recover. In the latter half of the night, a deep voice suddenly sounded. the elder of the Qilin clan, open her eyes. Who was it? As soon as she finished speaking, her body changed and shattered. The sound of bones breaking was heard. With a scream, she was split in half. After seeing this, the surrounding people also stood up abruptly. The son of the Qilin clan roared angrily. Who is it? Get lost. He threw a punch that pierced through heaven and earth and charged toward the other party. The surrounding people also made their moves. A great battle broke out in an instant, but when they saw the enemy, their scalps went numb. It was a figure with terrifying scales on his body. The death chi on his body was extremely terrifying. What was that? Some of the elders were shocked. The son of the Qilin clan had an ugly expression. The power of a quasi-emperor was really shocking. Why would a quasi-emperor come? Which clan was this? The people of the Qilin clan were completely crazy. They only knew a few quasi-emperors so far. Why was there a new one? Could it be that he was not a quasi-emperor from the burial planet, but from the immortal land? When they thought of this possibility, they became extremely unsightly. The immortal land was incomparably mysterious. The quasi-emperors, there were probably not people they could resist. Damn it, let's go, let's go. Those people roared in a frenzy. The son of the Qilin clan roared and took out the Qilin divine furnace. There was a violent roar, and the 9 heavens and 10 lands were shaking. Even in the immortal land, an extreme weapon was an extremely terrifying existence. The surrounding people all saw it. They raised their heads to look at the sky, their faces full of shock. Heavens, what is that? This should be an extreme weapon of the Qilin clan. Who was the Qilin clan fighting with? Could it be that he was in danger? One had to know that when the emperor clans attacked, there was nothing they could do about it. Up until now, they had mostly used extreme weapons for defense. This was because he didn't have much strength left. It was as if the primordial Qilin had come back to life and sent the black figure flying. The quasi-emperor's pupils shrank. Her body was completely shattered by this attack. Fortunately, he managed to dodge the fatal attack and was only hit by the aftershocks. Looking ahead at the fleeing Qilin clansmen, the man in black let out a furious roar. However, he did not give chase. He knew how terrifying an extreme grade weapon was, so he changed his target again. Not long after the Qilin clan attacked, another clan let out a miserable cry. This time, the people of the Holy Heavens race received the attack of the mysterious quasi-emperor. For a time, they suffered heavy losses. Apart from them, the other clans were also attacked one after another. The Yi clan was also attacked. They immediately took out the heaven and earth cauldron to block the attack and avoid more losses. For a time, everyone panicked. Everyone knew that a monster had appeared inside, and it wasn't something they could fight against. Damn it, why did it turn out like this? Countless people were roaring. They had suffered heavy losses not long after entering the Holy Heavens race. The people of the Divine Union also heard the news. They were also on high alert. Lin Xian said, "Be careful." Everyone nodded. Suddenly, a terrifying, oppressive might appeared in the sky. When Xue Qi sensed this, she cried out in alarm. "Heavens, this is a quasi-emperor, right?" Lin Xian roared. Scram. He slashed out with his sword. It turned into 9 suns. The terrifying sword light slashed into the void, but it was blocked by a black palm. The terrifying quasi-emperor sneered and attacked. Lin Xian roared. He rushed up and fought with the quasi-emperor. After a single attack, the quasi-emperor retreated. 6-crowned king? Lin Xian frowned deeply. However, so what? When the heaven-devouring jar appeared, a black vortex covered the sky. The quasi-emperor frowned when he saw this. Why was there another extreme grade weapon? Damn it, he retreated unwillingly. Lin Xian roared. "Where are you going? So what if you are the 6-crowned king? Do you think the Divine Union is a pushover? How dare you try to kill us? This time, he was going to make the other party pay the price. The heaven-devouring jar appeared. At the same time, Lin Xian unleashed a dragon-shaped sword chi. A terrifying sword technique swept across the sky. The quasi-emperor in black was also furious. He had left, but the other party still dared to chase after him. He turned around and unleashed a monstrous nomological law. A black seed jumped between her eyebrows, and a black flame appeared. It turned into a terrifying hell scythe. The two of them fought fiercely. "Give me power," Lin Xian roared. Below, Xueqi and the other people of the divine union channeled their power into the heaven-devouring jar. The heaven-devouring crown shone brightly. On the other hand, Lin Xian used the power of the sword world. The great dragon sword soul erupted and slashed his opponent to the ground. The quasi-emperor in black roared at the sky. Fear appeared in his eyes as he turned around and fled. He was injured. He had been injured by a young man. Previously, the Dvarch clan had only forced him to retreat. They had not injured him. "Just you wait. I will take revenge for this." She spoke in a hoarse voice. However, it was very strange. It seemed like she had not spoken for many years. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "You ran fast enough. Otherwise, I would have cut you down with my blade." Did he leave? The people of the divine union heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian was really mighty. Xueqi had indeed said that he should not be a quasi-emperor that they knew. Lin Xian nodded. The aura on his body was very ancient. He should be a quasi-emperor of this deity ground. It was really good news that they had met the moment they arrived. They wondered what they were going to do. Following that, everyone was very careful. Actually, they were all overly worried. The deity ground was scary. However, they were at the edge of it now, and were not in too much danger. Yao Guang had accidentally dug out this quasi-emperor. If Yao Guang had not done anything, if Yao Guang had not moved, such a scene would not have happened. Of course, no one knew that Yao Guang would not dare to speak about it. Yao Guang probably wouldn't dare to say it out loud for the rest of his life. Otherwise, he would be hunted down by this large clan. 10 days later, everyone stopped. They discovered an ancient and broken city in front of them. They finally saw a building. Did someone once live in the deity ground? Who was that? Was it an immortal? Chapter 5600. Looking at the city that was about to collapse, countless people cried out in surprise. Heavens, there really are ruins. Could this be a place where immortals once lived? Great, we're rich. These people were very excited. Go in. They rushed forward. The closer they got to the ancient city, the greater the pressure they felt. Therefore, it wasn't easy to enter. However, these people wouldn't give up so easily. At the same time, Mount Eternal, Desolate Tomb, and Taichu Ancient Land also began to move. After waiting at the beginning, these forbidden lands finally couldn't hold it in anymore. Countless figures walked out of these forbidden lands. What was even more terrifying was that 3 figures walked out of these 3 forbidden lands. They soared into the sky and directly charged into the depths of the deity ground. Boom, boom, boom. A monstrous power appeared. When they cut through the void, the explorers in the deity ground also felt their scalps go numb. One by one, the great emperor clans were terrified. What was this? Why did they feel as if the great emperor had been reborn? Even Lin Xian and the others' pupils constricted. This was the power of a human sovereign. The human sovereigns had finally made their move at this moment. 3 forbidden lands, 3 human sovereigns. This power was too strong, completely surpassing that of a quasi-emperor. It wasn't something they could resist. They even felt that even if they held extreme weapons, they wouldn't be a match for these 3 people. For a moment, everyone was in despair. When such people came, who could defeat them? Everyone was on the verge of facing a great enemy. They were ready to escape at any time. After waiting for a long time, They realized that the three human sovereigns weren't here at all. They had directly entered the depths of the deity ground and disappeared. They didn't attack. Some people cheered. Those from the Emperor clan's side. They were thinking too much. In front of such people, they were all ants. They would probably enter the depths to fight for the immortal opportunity. Some people sighed. It was sad to be in the same era as such people. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Were they going to fight for the immortal opportunity? It was really shocking. Although he was envious, he was confident. However, he wasn't defeated because he believed that one day he would surpass these people. Human sovereigns had their own opportunities. They didn't care about ordinary treasures. They are searching for supreme treasures, which gives us a chance. The people of the great Emperor clan said, "Let's take down this ancient city first." The others nodded as well. That was indeed the case. Everyone was fighting for the opportunity. Could they catch up with Jizun's footsteps? Although they didn't know, they had to work hard to improve themselves. These people charged forward with all their might. The members of the Divine Union also headed forward. Among them, Lin Wudi was the fastest, which shocked countless people. This person's invincible strength was too strong. Could it be that he was not affected by the pressure here? Damn it, how did he do it? Countless people were shocked. And at this time, the world was in a state of chaos as more experts arrived. The surrounding people turned their heads to look. And in the next moment, they all cried out in alarm. This was a forbidden land of life. That's right. They noticed that the newcomer had an inextinguishable fighting spirit and a terrifying aura of death. His body was covered with runes. The people from the three great forbidden lands had come to collect them. Damn it, didn't they say that they didn't care about this place? No, we made a mistake. It's the human sovereign who doesn't like him. However, there were more than just supremes in the forbidden land of life. I'm afraid that other people will also come here to compete with us for resources. So what? We're not afraid of him. Cold voices rang out one after another. Although they said so, they still acted as if they were facing a great enemy. Stupid ants, kneel down in front of us obediently and submit to us. Perhaps you can still live. The expert from Mount Eternal sneered. What did you say? The Kunping race was furious. The people from Huangling also walked out. It seems that you still don't understand. Didn't you see that our human sovereign has come out? Can you resist that kind of power? Our human sovereign is going to fight for the treasures now. When they come back, they can kill you with one slap. Now, whoever submits will live. Otherwise, you will all die. Hearing this, everyone's face turned ugly. Damn it, could it be that they were really going to submit to him? At this time, Lin Xian sneered. Submit to you? Did water get into your heads? Get lost, or I'll kill you. At that time, even if your human sovereign comes back, he won't be able to save you. Hearing these arrogant words, everyone was shocked. Who was it? The people from the Forbidden Lands were even more furious. Who was so reckless? They suddenly turned their heads and found that the one who spoke was Lin Xian, who was standing in front of them with his hands behind his back. The people from the three Forbidden Lands looked at Lin Xian with gritted teeth because they all had a grudge against Lin Xian. It's time to get rid of you. The people from the three Forbidden Lands sneered and walked up. One of the stone men stretched out his hand and grabbed forward. Lin Xian punched out, and the power of his divine body shattered the opponent's fist. At the same time, he took a step forward and released the demon god seal to suppress it. The stone man screamed and was torn apart. Damn it, you dare to hurt me? He was crazy. Lin Xian sneered. Why wouldn't I dare? Do you really think you're a human sovereign? Let's work together to kill him. On Mount Eternal's side, someone walked out with a terrifying black stone tablet on his back. There was another person who was equally terrifying. He had a bronze scythe on his back. It was a death scythe. He was from Huangling. Not good. Feeling this aura, everyone's scalps went numb. The one with the black stone tablet was a quasi-emperor, and the one with the bronze scythe was also a quasi-emperor. With the appearance of two quasi-emperors, Lin Wuti was in danger. Did he really think that there was no one in the grand primordium ancient tomb? Another angry shout was heard, and the same strange stone flew over. This strange stone was in the shape of a human. As soon as it appeared, the killing intent on its body shook the heavens and earth. In front of these people, the monarch race powerhouses were terrified and trembled. Yi Wudao, Kunpingzi, and the others felt their scalps go numb. This was because they felt that even with their strength, they couldn't withstand a single blow in front of the other party. This was also a quasi-emperor. 3 quasi-emperors had arrived. The 3 of them stared at Lin Xian and sneered. "Kid, let's see who can save you this time." The others went crazy. "It's over. Lin Wuti is dead for sure." No one had expected 3 quasi-emperors to appear. The expressions of the people from the divine union became incomparably solemn. "Not good. Boss, why don't we leave first?" They looked at Lin Xian with ugly expressions. Although they had extreme weapons, the 3 quasi-emperors were too terrifying. These people might have supreme weapons in their hands. Once they fought, it would be difficult for them to gain the upper hand. If they were suppressed, there would only be one outcome. They would die. Want to leave? Too naive. The quasi-emperor from Mount Eternal sneered. The black stone tablet on his back soared into the sky and suppressed the world. Chapter 56:01. A stone tablet sealed the entire space, and everyone felt that they could not escape. They were in despair and fear. "No, this has nothing to do with us." Some of the clans roared crazily and pushed them to the back. Even the emperors and clansmen had grave expressions on their faces. On the other side, the Huangling quasi-emperor waved his bronze sickle and slashed out. The entire space seemed to shatter under this slash. This was the deity ground. One could only imagine how terrifying this slash was for such a phenomenon to occur. Boom. On the other side, the human-shaped stone also walked out. The sky shook, and the earth shook with each step. At this moment, everyone's bodies were torn apart. They were too strong. These 3 quasi-emperors were not injured or poisoned. They were quasi-emperors at their peak. How could Lin Xian fight against them? Lin Xian's face was extremely gloomy. 3 quasi-emperors? Although it was beyond his expectations. So, what? Now that he had grown up, he might be able to fight them. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. He looked at the people beside him and said, "Push them far away later. I will fight them next." "No, young master, this is too dangerous. Yes, 1 quasi-emperor is fine, but 3 quasi-emperors? We can't fight them." "Why? Do you still want to fight us? What a joke." The quasi-emperor of Mount Eternal snorted. "Stupid ants. Today, I will make the divine union disappear." The quasi-emperor of Desolate Forest also stepped out. A great battle was about to break out. At this moment, a vortex appeared between heaven and earth. Everyone thought that Lin Xian had used the all-engulfing heavenly crown. However, Lin Xian also raised his head. He was stunned. Lord Alcohol. The wine-sword immortal's figure appeared between heaven and earth. He yawned and said, "We meet again." Lin Xian was overjoyed. He finally saw Lord Alcohol again. The emperor clans on the Tibetan Earth Star were shocked. It was this man. They would not forget that this man was also a quasi-emperor. When quasi-emperors first appeared, this man appeared. Back then, the primal chaos quasi-emperor came to the divine union to kill Lin Xian. In the end, the devouring quasi-emperor appeared and took him away. Now that the other party had come out, it seemed like the battle with the chaos quasi-emperor had ended. A quasi-emperor had arrived. The members of the divine union cheered. The quasi-emperor of Mount Eternal sneered. "A quasi-emperor fighting against the 3 of us? You really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. The quasi-emperors of the desolate forest also laughed coldly. "Kneel down and kowtow to us, and we will let you leave alive. If you dare to meddle in our affairs again, I'll destroy your soul." You should know how difficult it is to cultivate to quasi-emperor. Do you want to die for this kid? Lin Xian also said, "Lord Alcohol, let's fight together." He knew that Lord Alcohol was very powerful, but he didn't have any confidence in facing 3 quasi-emperors. Therefore, he was also prepared to participate. Lord Alcohol smiled and said, "Little fellow, don't worry. It's just 3 ants. I don't care about them." Lord Alcohol was very calm. When the surrounding people heard this, their scalps went numb. What did he say? Did he just call the 3 quasi-emperors ants? Heavens, you're also a quasi-emperor. Where did you get the confidence to fight at the same level? How dare you call me an ant? The 3 quasi-emperors were also angry. Among them, the quasi-emperor of the desolate tomb walked out. "I want to see what right you have to be arrogant in front of me." He held the bronze scythe and slashed out. The bronze scythe turned into a bronze ray of light, splitting the space of the deity ground. This slash directly enveloped Lord Alcohol. "Not good. Retreat quickly," the surrounding people exclaimed, and Lin Xian also became nervous. Lord Alcohol sneered. He pointed his finger, and a black vortex appeared at his fingertip. It directly swallowed the bronze ray of light. The next moment, he waved his sleeve. The black vortex suddenly became bigger, covering the sky and the earth, and directly swallowed the bronze scythe. Not only that, half of the quasi-emperor of the desolate tomb was also covered by the black vortex, and his flesh and blood were indistinguishable. He let out a miserable cry and turned to escape. How could this person be so powerful? "Damn it, who are you? Our human sovereign is here," he roared crazily. But it was useless. The black vortex completely swallowed him, and only some rain of blood fell. The surrounding people went crazy. What happened? Did a quasi-emperor die just like that? It was so quiet. He was killed in one move. Their scalps went numb. The other 2 quasi-emperors were so frightened that they took 2 steps back. They were terrified. Who exactly are you? How could they not be afraid? The dead quasi-emperor was on par with them, but he was killed in one move. "Me? I am the wine sword immortal." Lord Alcohol stood with his hands behind his back, and sword chi rushed out from his body, turning into a black, devouring sword that floated between heaven and earth. At this moment, he was extremely domineering. The 2 quasi-emperors were about to kneel in front of such a phenomenon. The other great emperor's clans gasped in shock. The Yi family patriarch said, "It seems that this is not an existence that we can imagine at all." The Phoenix family patriarch also shook his head and sighed. "Last time, he took away the Chaos quasi-emperor, and we thought that he was just an ordinary quasi-emperor. Now, it seems that is not the case at all. Last time, he did not reveal his strength. This time, there is no need for him to hide the opening of the deity ground." Indeed, now that Lord Alcohol and the others were about to start the final operation, they naturally would not hide their strength. Even if Lord Nine wanted to kill the Chaos Quasi-Foundation, it would be a piece of cake. However, he did not do so. He was prepared to leave the Chaos Quasi-Emperor to Lin Xian and let Lin Xian deal with him personally. To be honest, his strength had not fully recovered yet. Heavens! Is this an expert of the Divine Union? The people of the Divine Union were also shocked and excited. Even Lin Xian was surprised. To be honest, he had previously guessed that Lord Alcohol was only a quasi-emperor. Now it seemed that he was not. To be able to kill a quasi-emperor in one move, even if he was a quasi-emperor, was extremely terrifying. How many crowns had he reached? I am just passing by this time. My strength has not fully recovered, and I want to go to the depths of the deity ground. As he spoke, everyone was even more shocked. If he could kill a quasi-emperor in one move without fully recovering his strength, wouldn't he be heaven-defying if he recovered? How did Lin Xian know such a terrifying person? He's here. At this moment, Lord Alcohol looked up into the distance. The surrounding people were stunned and looked over as well. Who else was coming? They saw an old man with a sage-like demeanor. He was standing on an auspicious cloud and flying over. Old Xia! Lin Xian exclaimed when he saw him. It was Xia Zhuyo. The others also exclaimed. The living fossil of the Yi family was also shocked. They had heard that the previous temple master of the Divine Hall had gone to Zhuyo. Was he still alive? No way. He was an even more terrifying living fossil. People like Qilin and the others were even more shocked. Wasn't Xia Zhuyo the champion of the previous Hualong competition? He was actually still alive. How terrifying was he now? Xia Zhuyo looked at Lord Alcohol and nodded. Obviously, the two of them knew each other. Xia Zhuyo said, I saw the human sovereign enter the depths of the deity ground. Lord Alcohol said, I was also about to go, but I met the little guy, so I stopped. Xia Zhuyo said, there's no time to lose. Let's move. Obviously, their destination was the depths of the deity ground. The surrounding people were shocked again. Were these people going to deal with the human sovereign? Chapter 56:02. Lin Xian was also surprised. What exactly was in the depths of the deity ground? He said, Lord Alcohol, Elder Xia, be careful. There's a permitha in the deity ground. Lord Alcohol smiled and looked up at the sky. Half of the book of Heavenly Tao in the sky was released by you, right? With the book of Heavenly Tao, the permitha won't come out for the time being. Xia Zhuyo also said, little guy, you did the right thing this time. You blocked the permitha and gave us a chance to win. After a few words, the monarch race people were shocked. Half of the book of Heavenly Tao was released by Lin Xian. They sucked in a cold breath. At this point, Xia Zhuyo lowered his head and looked down. He said, the people of the Forbidden Lands still dare to come out. Die. As he spoke, he slammed his palm toward the land of absolute primordium. This attack was too terrifying. Resplendent light swept out in all directions, illuminating the entire space. Everyone was shaken by this palm. The quasi-emperor of the land of absolute primordium also shouted angrily, Damn it, you dare to underestimate me? Endless killing intent rushed out of his body, turning into 12 swords of killing. The 9 heavens and 10 earths shattered under these sword chi. The 12 swords of killing charged forward together. Old thing, die, boom. The two collided, and raging waves crashed onto the shore. The 12 swords of killing kept cracking. In an instant, the strange stone shattered into pieces. He was penetrated by a palm and directly slapped to death on the ground. Xia Zhuyo was filled with endless dominance. He retracted his palm and snorted coldly. Land of absolute primordium? Back when I was at my peak and swept through the world, you probably didn't dare to come out. Shocking. Incomparably shocking. Even Lin Xian was stunned. Xia Zhuyo's strength was actually so terrifying, as expected of the previous dragon transformation war emperor. It was just that such a person didn't become a great emperor last time. What did one have to experience to become a great emperor? He was even more confused. The surrounding people were all stunned. The Phoenix race people were shocked. This person had the qualifications to become a great emperor. He was from the previous era and didn't become a great emperor. What a pity! They didn't know if there was still a chance in this era. Countless people were shocked. The 2 experts who appeared killed the quasi-emperor of the Forbidden Lands in 2 moves. It was like a legend. Lin Xian was shocked. He thought of his father again. He wanted to ask Lord Alcohol. He had just spoken and Lord Alcohol had already arrived. You want to ask your father. right? You don't have to ask me, just ask him. Lin Xian was stunned and suddenly turned his head, his Rinnegan blooming. In the next moment, he became excited. Father! He saw a stalwart man walking over in the air. This person's fighting spirit was really too strong. The moment it appeared, it crushed down on the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Countless living beings could not help but want to kneel down and submit at this moment. Many people swallowed their saliva. The Emperor clan's people also felt their scalps go numb. What kind of person was this? The stalwart man in the sky came to Lin Xian's side and said, "Xian, you've grown up." "Father." Lin Xian's eyes turned red. "Father, I've grown up. I can fight by your side." Lin Zhan smiled too. He patted Lin Xian's shoulder. "Good." Then he waved his hand, and the space beside him split open. A beautiful middle-aged woman walked out. Xian. The moment this woman appeared, she also looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian's soul trembled. Mother! He was really stunned. He hadn't seen his mother for a long time. "Child, I've made you suffer. Actually, you don't have to suffer so much." The middle-aged woman's tears fell. Men don't cry easily. At this moment, Lin Xian also cried until he couldn't speak. Throughout his growth, everyone had been paying attention to his cultivation and strength, but only his mother knew that she had suffered. "All right, didn't we meet now? We will have more time in the future, but not now." Lin Zhan spoke at this moment. The middle-aged woman nodded and said, "Xian, you have to take good care of yourself in the future." Lin Xian was stunned. Was he going to leave again? Lin Zhan said, "Xian, I'll wait for you in the depths of the celestial ground." As he spoke, he soared into the air and punched out at the same time. This punch illuminated the ages. This punch turned into eternity between heaven and earth and charged towards the quasi-emperor of Mount Eternal. That quasi-emperor also roared angrily at the sky. He merged with the black sky monument. "I'm immortal." His body emitted a monstrous, immortal intent. "Suppress." He transformed into the sky monument and suppressed this fist. However, the battle intent on this fist was too terrifying. Under this punch, the sky monument turned into powder and scattered with the wind. Did he die again? He killed a quasi-emperor of Mount Eternal with a punch, and Mount Eternal was known as an immortal existence. This man called Lin Zhan was even more terrifying. Moreover, he was actually Lin Xian's father. Lin Xian indeed had a great background. In an instant, countless families trembled in fear. Lin Zhan killed a quasi-emperor of Mount Eternal with a punch without even looking. It was as simple as crushing an ant to death. He soared into the air and said, "Xian, we'll wait for you." The middle-aged woman also entered the spatial rift and slowly disappeared. Her voice floated out. "Xian, take care of yourself." Xia Juyo and Lord Alcohol also flew into the distance. Lord Alcohol said, "Little guy, we'll wait for you." Then the 3 of them turned into streams of light and flew into the depths of the deity ground. Lin Xian looked into the distance and took a deep breath. He would definitely walk into the depths of the deity ground. In the next moment, he landed and said, "People of the divine union, follow me into the ancient city." He took the lead, and his divine body shone brightly. The power of the 4-crowned king swept out. He rushed toward the ancient city with large strides. The surrounding people were still in shock. 3 quasi-emperors, a sure kill situation, had been resolved so easily. He had killed them in 3 moves. The people of the great emperor families also trembled. They were both envious and frightened. This was because their great emperor families had yet to produce a quasi-emperor. However, they still had a trace of hope, and that was their ancestor. Was the great emperor still alive? Would he be able to return? Let's go. We can't think about the ancestors' matter, but we must produce a quasi-emperor. These great emperor families also gritted their teeth. They had to nurture a quasi-emperor in the shortest time possible. They had to use extreme weapons to open a path and kill. The Gu family's patriarch roared, and the heaven and earth cauldron appeared. It suppressed the surroundings and charged toward the ancient city. The Gu family, Kunpeng race, Phoenix race, and Qilin race all did the same. The extreme aura reappeared. The people of the great emperor families went completely crazy at this moment. They had been stimulated. They had to seize the opportunity. On Lin Xian's side, he even used his body to open a path. His divine fists were opened and closed. Yin and Yang sword chi swept across. Finally, the group of people entered the ancient city. The ancient city was majestic, but there was no one in sight. There was an aura of desolation and time inside. The buildings were filled with plants. Although there was no one, those plants were extremely extraordinary. These were plants that grew in the deity ground. Charge, kill. The people of the Gu family roared. The Qilin race, Kunpeng race, and other great emperor families instantly rushed over. Behind them were the peerless great sects, ancient families, and itinerant cultivators. At this moment, everyone's eyes were red as they charged forward. Chapter 56:03. The void mirror shone brightly between heaven and earth. Elder Gu Shao of the Gu family roared. Scram. Terrifying spatial cracks spread in all directions, and many people were instantly teleported out. Hurry up and run. The others quickly retreated. Some of the remote antiquity families gritted their teeth. At the same time, the Qilin family and the Kunpeng family also took out their extreme weapons. The Qilin son said, "Those without extreme weapons should leave this ancient city." That's right, the Kunpeng family also said coldly. The surrounding people were in despair. It seemed like the emperor family was going to join forces to clear the place. Damn it, you want to leave just because you want to? That's right, the ancient city is so mysterious, and it doesn't belong to your family. Some families and sects were unwilling to leave, so they retreated to the side and waited. They wanted to see if there was a chance to reap the benefits. However, they soon regretted it. Their scalps went numb, and they fled in panic because the two emperor weapons collided. The emperor family was also fighting with each other. Now, whoever produced a boundary emperor first would be able to dominate the others. Therefore, these people were really angry. Extreme weapons collided. How could the people around him possibly withstand it? Many of them did not escape, and they were instantly turned into ashes. After seeing this, the others did not dare to stay any longer. They were not a match at all. Lin Xian also took out the sky-devouring crown to fight. He charged towards one of the palaces. There were endless plants there, and there was also a tree that was shining with 5 colors, and there were 5 elemental laws on it. Moreover, it was surrounded by mysterious fragments. Lin Xian felt that it might be an immortal artifact fragment, and he felt an unusual aura. Attack. Lin Xian led his people and rushed over, directly swallowing the 5 elements sacred tree. Damn it! After the Gu family saw this, the void mirror shone brightly. It was blocked by the black vortex that filled the sky. Lin Wudi, leave the treasure behind. Another angry roar. However, Lin Xian snorted and left. He waved his hand and led the people of the divine union away quickly. They had already obtained a treasure, so there was no need for them to enter the vortex again. The people from the Gu family did not continue their search. Instead, they went to other places to search. After Lin Xian and the others stopped, Lin Xian took out the 5 elements tree. The 5 elemental nomological laws blossomed with radiance as everyone from the divine union widened their eyes. Lin Xian said, as they sat down cross-legged to comprehend. Xue Qi and the others took a deep breath, sat down cross-legged, and started comprehending the 5 elements' power. Lin Xian was also standing under the tree. He didn't cultivate the power of the 5 elements. Instead, he was sensing the immortal equipment fragments. At the same time, the mark of the divine flame opened between his eyebrows. He wondered if this fragment could increase the power of his seed of the divine flame. However, the power of the seed of divine fire did not increase. It seemed that the two of them had different powers. However, Lin Xian discovered that he seemed to be able to condense immortal qi seeds as well. What an unexpected discovery! Lin Xian was overjoyed. He was called an abandoned immortal and could not cultivate. Only then did he know that the masterminds were the Z Mansion and the Nirvana Realm. In other words, it was the Nirvana Realm's red spider lily that had sealed him. Now that he was in the deity land, Lin Xian discovered that it was possible to cultivate immortal qi seeds. What would happen if he cultivated both of them together? Lin Xian asked DeLong said, "You can give it a try. There might be unexpected changes. Has anyone else walked this path before?" Lin Xian asked. DeLong said, "It had been a very long time since the last immemorial era. No one had taken this path. People either cultivated immortal qi or divine flame. There were very few people who cultivated both at the same time. You might be able to walk a different path." Lin Xian took a deep breath after hearing this. DeLong said, "Kid, you can give it a try because you have a deity domain. This is something no one else has. Divine Jade can increase the power of divine flame. The deity land can also increase the power of immortal qi. Hence, this is your chance." "I understand." Lin Xian nodded. Since that was the case, he would fuse with the immortal qi seeds. Lin Xian absorbed the immortal artifact fragments on the 5 elements tree and began to try to condense them. However, one 5 elements tree was not enough for him to condense immortal qi seeds. However, Lin Xian already had a mysterious aura in his body. What a pleasant surprise! The others also gained something. They had all condensed the 5 elements laws. Everyone seemed to be able to condense 5 elements tree leaves in their hands. Some were strong and some were weak. They could be said to be very powerful weapons. After being absorbed by so many people, the 5 elements tree finally dimmed. It seemed to have become an ordinary tree. Lin Xian knew that it was about time. He said, "Let's go." The group rose into the air again. At this moment, the battle in the ancient city was abnormally terrifying. Several Emperor weapons collided with each other. The people from the Emperor race were really fighting crazily. Lin Xian did not participate anymore. The deity land was very big, and there were many opportunities. There was no need to fight to the death with these people. They rose into the air and left the ancient city, heading to other places. "Old ancestor, there is an ancient city in front of you. The Emperor clan's people were fighting over it. Treasures, let's go too." At the same time, in the vicinity of the ancient city, chaotic energy filled the air. The Hunan clan had also arrived. They were excited because their primal chaos ancestor had returned. This was a true quasi-emperor. The Hundun clan had once again reached the pinnacle. The primal chaos quasi-emperor's gaze pierced through the heavens and earth as he looked ahead. He said, "Oh, then let me do it." So what if they were facing the clans of great emperors? This was the world of quasi-emperors. The primal chaos patriarch waved his robe and reversed the universe. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the ancient city. Feeling the pressure from the ancient city, the people from the Hundun tribe felt their scalps tingling. How terrifying! Was this the city of the celestial land? It was truly unbelievable. A terrifying radiance erupted from the primal chaos quasi-emperor's eyes. I can feel the power of the immortal qi seed. Near the ancient city, there were many clans and sections. These were the ones who had been chased out. They gritted their teeth but were unwilling to leave. They could only linger nearby. When they saw the chaos quasi-emperor, they also gasped. Was another quasi-emperor here? The chaos quasi-emperor looked at these people and snorted. These people were not qualified to enter. He strode forward. Suddenly, he was stunned. He waved his hand and tore the void apart. "Stay here." With an angry roar, the heavens and earth shook. The surrounding people went crazy. Who was the chaos quasi-emperor attacking? They all looked up. The shattered void blocked the group of people. Lin Xian and the others stood in the spatial crack. They were all so angry. Did someone dare to attack them? Lin Xian lowered his head and looked at the Handan clan below. "How dare you block my way? Do you want to die?" Chapter 5604. It was the Primal Chaos Tribe and the Primal Chaos Quasi-Emperor. When Xueqi, Nalan Liang, and the others saw this scene, they sucked in a breath of cold air. Another Primal Chaos Quasi-Emperor had arrived. Lin Xian sneered. "Primal Chaos Quasi-Emperor, he was very surprised that you were still alive. Did Lord Alcohol not kill this guy? Or did he not bother to do so?" "Humph, kid. Do you think you can defeat me just because the devouring quasi-emperor protected you last time? Let me tell you, he only fought to a draw with me. Moreover, she has already left and disappeared. Let's see who can protect you this time." The primal chaos quasi-emperor's eyes were filled with killing intent. The kid in front of him had killed their primal chaos body, so he had to kill him for revenge. The surrounding people exclaimed when they heard this. What? The primal chaos quasi-emperor could fight to a draw with the devouring quasi-emperor? It can't be, right? Not long ago, they had seen Lord Alcohol kill a quasi-emperor with one palm strike. His strength was shocking. Had the primal chaos quasi-emperor become so terrifying? The people of the Divine Union were also worried. If it was such an existence, they would not be able to resist at all. It seemed that even an extreme weapon could not scare the primal chaos quasi-emperor. Lin Xian laughed heartily. "You are evenly matched with Lord Alcohol? You must be out of your mind. Do you know why you are still alive? Because you are too weak and Lord Alcohol did not bother to attack you. Otherwise, how could you still be alive? Stupid thing. Are you trying to provoke me?" The primal chaos quasi-emperor was furious. How dare Lin Xian say that he was weak? If it had not been for that quasi-emperor, he would have killed Lin Xian with one finger. However, it was not too late now. "Kid, do you know the consequences of offending a quasi-emperor? Today, I will let you know." With that, the primal chaos quasi-emperor stretched out a finger and attacked. This finger enlarged between heaven and earth, turning into an eternal light pillar. The chaotic aura on it was enough to split heaven and earth. He pointed a finger at Lin Xian, intending to kill him. The people of the primal chaos tribe laughed. "Stupid thing. Do you think you can fight against a quasi-emperor? Lin Wudi, today is the day you die." They had infinite confidence in the primal chaos ancestor. Lin Xian sneered and punched out as well. Divine fire danced on his fist, turning into a sun as he charged toward the finger. Not running? Attack. Seeing that the other party had attacked instead of fleeing, the primal chaos quasi-emperor shook his head. "Kid, you've been too arrogant recently. I heard that you've grown very quickly recently, but so what compared to a quasi-emperor? You are still an ant. Under this finger, turn into ashes." His finger sped up. Speed. With a clang, it collided with the golden fist. Divine flames danced in the sky and swept out. This part of the world had lost its luster. Everyone's souls shook violently, and they all retreated to the back. Handan Quasi-Emperor's expression also changed. She felt as if she had struck an ancient mountain with her attack. How could his opponent's fist be so hard? It did not shatter. Has this brat's physique reached the large success stage? He was extremely surprised. The people of the Handan tribe were also stunned. Lin Xian could fight against a quasi-emperor? Wasn't it just a Triple Crown winner? Lin Xian sneered. Old thing, how long has it been since you last gathered information? Don't you know my strength? With an angry roar, the divine fire on Lin Xian's fist continued to erupt, then turned into a palm and slapped forward. Cracks suddenly appeared on the finger of Handan Quasi-Emperor. Then with a crack, it broke. With a muffled groan, the Handan Quasi-Emperor retracted his finger, with blood dripping from it. You can actually hurt me? He was extremely shocked. An ant could hurt an elephant, which was completely beyond his understanding. Lin Xian sneered. Hurt you? I'm going to kill you. He soared into the air and waved his hands. An extremely terrifying sword chi appeared in his hand. Slash. The sword slashed down with the power to split the sky. Damn it! You're courting death. Chaotic palm. The Handan Quasi-Emperor was also furious. His broken finger healed, then he struck out with his palm. His hand seemed to have turned into the sky, sweeping across the void. He admitted that he had been careless. He did not expect Lin Xian's strength to increase so quickly. But so what? An ant was still an ant. No matter how unexpected it was, it could not be compared to a true dragon. Boom, boom. There was another violent explosion, and the Handan Quasi-Emperor kept retreating, his blood boiling. He was really shocked. How is this possible? He let out an angry roar, like a god roaring. The surrounding people fainted from the shock. The people of the Handan tribe were also in disbelief. Lin Wuyi really had the combat strength of a quasi-emperor. Damn it! Has his cultivation surpassed the Triple Crown winner? Lin Xian laughed. Handan Quasi-Emperor, have you seen the truth? It's impossible for you to kill me. The Handan Quasi-Emperor's face turned black. He looked forward, gritting his teeth. The power of the Quadruple Crown winner. No! How can the Quadruple Crown winner challenge me? What other trump cards do you have? He roared crazily. Lin Xian snorted. Do you want to know? Then take a good look. The mark of the divine fire appeared between his brows, and a terrifying power swept out. What is this power? The Handan Quasi-Emperor had really gone crazy. The seed of the divine fire. You actually have such a thing? Isn't this the power that a quasi-emperor should have? How did he get it in advance? No wonder he could fight against a quasi-emperor. I have to kill this kid. I can't let him grow any further. The Handan Quasi-Emperor roared and charged over. Die. Her fists danced nonstop, releasing a bright light that shook heaven and earth. At this moment, nothing could stop her. The might of a quasi-emperor could sweep through everything. Lin Xian laughed loudly. Demonic chi surged from his body, and the demon emperor's special skills appeared one after another. The divine fire between his brows was also jumping nonstop. When these powers fused together, his combat strength was terrifying. Although Lin Xian was the Quadruple Crown winner, he could already challenge the Quadruple Crown winner. And this Handan Quasi-Emperor only had the strength of the Quadruple Crown winner. In the blink of an eye, the two sides had exchanged 30 moves. They were evenly matched. Lin Xian's expression was calm, and the more he fought, the braver he became. The Handan Quasi-Emperor was really mad, and she was getting more and more anxious. Damn it. Why is it like this? I won't lose. Yang Tian roared, and the Handan energy on his body condensed into a sky-splitting axe. He held it in his hand. I can split heaven and earth, and killing you will be as easy as flipping my hand. Universe-splitting axe split everything. The Handan giant axe in his hand chopped down. At this moment, a huge crack appeared in heaven and earth, and the whole ground shook violently. It seemed like this attack could split the deity ground. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Old thing, you are not my match. So, what if you have the power of universe-splitting heaven? I will let you see my power. Lin Xian's Rinnegan exploded with endless light, and he wanted to use the opponent's shock as an opening to attack. 6 paths of reincarnation. Summon the sword of reincarnation. The light of reincarnation quickly condensed. A sword shadow appeared between heaven and earth. The sword of reincarnation slashed down. Chapter 56:05. Between heaven and earth, a sword chi flashed with the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation. Clang! When the sword slashed down, the surrounding heaven and earth shook, and the others felt as if their souls were being crushed. The Chaos Emperor's expression changed drastically. He really didn't expect Lin Xian to be able to make such an attack. Thinking of this, he roared and used the cosmic axe in his hand, even more terrifying. The cosmic axe had the power to split heaven and earth, and endless laws surrounded it, as if it was going to split the entire world. This attack was really extraordinary. Legend had it that the Chaos Clan had the power to split open the world. Now that it was used by a quasi-emperor, its power was even more terrifying. In the next moment, the two collided, and countless people became nervous. The people of the Chaos Clan were full of confidence. In their opinion, Lin Wuti would definitely not be able to withstand it. A cracking sound was heard, and everyone's heart beat violently. Whose weapon was it that broke? They looked forward carefully. In the next moment, they gasped, and the people of the Chaos Clan were even more dumbfounded. The cosmic axe was extremely terrifying and could split the world, but at this moment, a crack appeared on it. Then, the crack quickly spread like a spider web. In the end, it shattered under everyone's shocked gaze. Those fragments were all swept into the 6 worlds and disappeared into the reincarnation. It wasn't over yet. When the sword slashed down, the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation surrounded all directions. The surrounding heaven and earth shattered, and the Chaos Quasi-Emperor was enveloped by this power. He let out a miserable cry. Damn it, he had used the law of chaos to the extreme, but he was still sent flying. 6 cracks appeared on his body, penetrating his entire body. Chaos blood kept dripping, and it was terrifying. Was he defeated? That was a quasi-emperor, and a quasi-emperor of the Chaos Clan. He was so powerful that no one could compare to him. But now, he was defeated by someone else. They couldn't imagine. Ancestor! Countless people exclaimed. The people of the Chaos Clan knelt on the ground, and some of them shouted, "Ancestor, kill him!" His Rinnegan could only be used once. Indeed, they had all seen Lin Xian's Rinnegan before. After using it once, Lin Xian closed his eyes, and his eyes bled. When the primal chaos patriarch heard this, he roared angrily and attacked again with 6 wounds on his body. But soon he stopped. His face was full of shock because he found that Lin Xian didn't close his Rinnegan this time. The reincarnation energy in his eyes was still extremely terrifying. What was going on? The other people also noticed this, and they all gasped. It seemed that after Lin Wuti broke through to the quadruple crown, his soul had also improved greatly. Now, the power of the Rinnegan had also become stronger. After using the reincarnation sword Phantom once, it still didn't close. It was incredible. Lin Xian sneered. A mere quasi-emperor only had such strength? You're really disappointing. Next, you will also experience my divine ability. As soon as he finished speaking, the divine flame seed between Lin Xian's eyebrows spread its power throughout his body. His palms formed the Devil's Overture. After obtaining the divine fire seed, Lin Xian finally understood what a true god art was. Previously, those who were below the quasi-emperor level had only used some tricks. With the power of the divine fire seed, that was a true god art. And now, Lin Xian was using such a god art. The martial arts of the great emperors were already terrifying. At this moment, it was even more terrifying. Between heaven and earth, demonic chi rolled and seemed to have turned into a demonic guqin. It floated in front of Lin Xian. Lin Xian stretched out his hand and gently flicked. With a boom, the Devil's Overture exploded, and the demonic sound pierced through the 9 heavens. At this moment, the people of the primal chaos race held their heads and screamed. Many people's souls actually cracked at this moment. The primal chaos quasi-emperor was the first to bear the brunt, and his face became extremely ugly. The shield of chaos, endless laws condensed, forming a huge shield in front of him. But it was useless. It was too strong, and he was sent flying. The shield of chaos instantly shattered, and there were only 6 cracks on his body. Now, it had turned into hundreds of cracks, almost tearing his body into pieces. The others felt their scalps go numb. They were also affected and fled. Lin Wudi's strength was really too strong. The primal chaos quasi-emperor's face was also ugly. A seed of immortal chi appeared between his brows. The primal chaos aura on it quickly healed his injuries, but he still couldn't help but vomit blood. How is this possible? You have cultivated this power to such a high level. He realized that although the other party was thousands of years younger than him, the power of the divine flame seed that the other party cultivated surpassed his. Now he was no longer a match for the other party, not to mention that the other party had not even used an extreme weapon. Damn it, run, run. The primal chaos quasi-emperor no longer had the will to fight. He just wanted to escape. This thought was so laughable before. He would never have thought that he would be afraid of a small ant. But now he couldn't beat the other party at all. Everyone, run. With this order, the people of the primal chaos race went crazy. Just as they were in a daze, the primal chaos quasi-emperor tore open the void with both hands and fled into the distance. Lin Xian sneered. With the ancient demonic guqin in his hand, he kept playing the Devil's Overture, 10,000 miles of pursuit. As the song was played, the Devil's Overture turned into the most terrifying killing sword, killing in all directions. In the blink of an eye, thousands of primal chaos race experts died. When the primal chaos quasi-emperor saw this scene, his eyes were bleeding. Damn it! With a wave of his hand, he led the others away quickly. The divine flame seed also appeared between his eyebrows. This is too much. He kept running, leaving behind a sky full of primal chaos blood. Was he defeated? The surrounding people were dumbfounded. Heaven and earth were extremely quiet. That was the primal chaos quasi-emperor. When he appeared back then, he was an existence that swept across the heavens. Even now, there were not many people who could contend against him. But now, he was defeated by Lin Xian, and it was a complete and utter defeat. Countless experts of the primal chaos race died. The people of the clan of the ancients were in despair. Who could compete with Lin Xian now? Even the great emperor clans were no match for him. Perhaps only the people of the forbidden lands of life could compete with him. At this moment, they looked at Lin Xian with admiration. The people of the Divine Union were extremely excited. This was great. Boss Lin's strength was really too strong. He was definitely not weaker than a boundary emperor now. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. He could only unleash the true power of the divine flame seed after becoming a quadruple crown king. Was this the true superpower? It was indeed much stronger than the previous nomological laws. At this moment, an extremely terrifying sound suddenly erupted from behind. The entire ancient city shook. What happened? Everyone turned their heads and saw 5 extreme weapons colliding in an instant. The terrifying power seemed to be able to destroy the heavens and earth. Run. The experts who were originally loitering outside, ready to take advantage of the situation, fled. In an instant, they fled. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. He waved his hand and led the people of the Divine Union away quickly. Chapter 5606. The toad jumped in fright. Damn. Are these emperor races crazy? What are they fighting for? Lin Xian also frowned. It seemed like the emperor races were really anxious. They probably wanted to create a quasi-emperor as soon as possible. There was no need for him to fight with these people. He was prepared to leave and take these people to other places to find opportunities. After all, the deity ground was huge. Next, Lin Xian and the others from the Divine Union went to other places. In the dilapidated ancient city, the battle between the extreme Dao realms did not end. Instead, it became more and more terrifying. It seemed that the great imperial clans were truly enraged. In the end, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The endless void was filled with cracks. This was the deity ground. This world was incomparably sturdy. If they were on planet Sangdi, the world would have been shattered. Even so, it still caused countless people to be terrified. The emperor races fought for it while the others changed places to search for opportunities. At the same time, more and more people from the original myriad worlds were preparing to enter the deity ground. However, the pressure on the deity ground was really too strong. Ordinary sages could not withstand it. After entering, they would be instantly crushed into pieces by the pressure. They could only receive some of the energy at the edge of the deity ground and cultivate. Originally, it was peaceful. However, gradually they realized that this was not the case. The deity ground was originally suspended above the 9 heavens. However, it was getting closer and closer. Everyone realized that the deity ground was constantly descending. According to this situation, it was very likely that it would eventually overlap with the myriad worlds. In other words, their original world would be crushed by the deity ground and turned into pieces. It would no longer exist. Although there was still a certain distance, the deity ground would truly descend sooner or later if it continued to descend at this rate. At that time, the myriad worlds would no longer exist. This was not good news because not all living beings could withstand the pressure of the deity ground. Most living beings could not withstand it at all. Now that there was a distance, it was still okay. Even if they could not enter, they would still be safe. Once the deity ground really descended, no one would be able to escape. Everyone would be crushed into pieces. In an instant, those people went crazy. Some people cultivated like crazy, wanting to increase their strength at the last moment to avoid being crushed. True spirit world, Yuhua, immortal dynasty. When the celestial ground appeared, the people of the Yuhua, immortal dynasty, all raised their heads and stared at the sky. At the same time, some ancient experts who were in deep slumber were revived. For example, the few people from the mystic realm walked out and knelt down in excitement. This era had arrived once again. The geniuses and disciples of the various immortal foundation powers were all stunned. Ecstasy. Soon, they learned from these living fossils that the Yuhua celestial dynasty had encountered the descent of the celestial ground during its heyday. Back then, the overlord of the Yuhua immortal dynasty had planned to lead the entire Yuhua immortal dynasty to ascend together. Obviously, he wanted to obtain something from the deity ground, but failed in the end. The Yuhua celestial dynasty was destroyed. This time, after countless years, the celestial land had descended once again. However, the ancestor did not appear again. Would their Yuhua immortal dynasty still be able to seize this opportunity? There were some quasi-emperor corpses and fragments in the secret realm. Perhaps they could still come out. Several immortal foundation pavilion masters spoke in a deep voice. However, the living fossils that had awakened shook their heads. Quasi-emperors were nothing in front of the celestial ground. If they wanted to continue their ascension, they could only resurrect the venerable emperor. Ancestor, what are you guys thinking? Those powerhouses were shocked. A cold light burst out from the eyes of the ancestor. We have an idea to resurrect the venerable emperor. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. The resurrected venerable emperor was too shocking. Moreover, he had been dead for tens of thousands of years. How could he be resurrected? The venerable emperor had left behind some methods back then in order to wait for the celestial land to descend once again. It's just that too many years have passed, so you guys don't know about it. However, we know some things. We can use the methods left behind by the venerable emperor back then to resurrect him. The people of the various immortal foundation powers became excited. They were all the people of the Yuhua immortal dynasty. If the venerable emperor was resurrected, he might be able to bring them along with him to ascend in this era, achieving the wish of the past. Everyone was excited. We will follow the orders of the ancestor without any complaints. A cold light burst out from the eyes of the ancestor. They began to take action. At the same time, in the depths of the universe, there was an ancient planet. That place was desolate and lifeless. This planet was also very famous back then, but later on, it declined. At this moment, some figures stood on this planet. These figures had prominent horns and powerful auras. Their bloodlines were even more terrifying. Even on planet Tibetan, such people were powerhouses that could sweep through a region. But now they could only stay here. There was no choice. They were beaten out. They were people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Back then, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty fought with Lin Xian on planet Tibetan. After being defeated by Lin Xian, they left the buried Emperor's star, because in that battle, their losses were too heavy. All the top experts had fallen, leaving only some weak and seriously injured people. These people quickly fled and came to this dilapidated planet. Originally, they planned to rest and recuperate. After tens of thousands of years, they would return. But now it was different. They saw hope. The celestial land had descended. It was an existence with great opportunities and great luck. If they could obtain the fortune inside, they could rise again. Of course, they were a group of dragons without a leader. If they went to fight with Lin Xian now, they would be courting death. They went to a place. The origin of this dilapidated planet was mysterious. This was also the reason why they came here. It was said that the wife of the Dragon Emperor, the Dragon Queen, lived here. Moreover, there was an ancient legend in the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. That was that the Dragon Queen was not dead. In the end, she was sealed by the Dragon Emperor. Logically speaking, she should be in a deep sleep like the Dragon Prince. Therefore, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty placed all their hopes on this legend. If the Dragon Queen came out, they would still have hope. When the celestial land descended, the power on it swept in all directions. It also reached this planet. They absorbed this power and sent it into the protective array formation on this planet. The array formation flashed and finally opened an underground palace. There were countless god crystals in the underground palace. At this moment, most of them had disappeared. However, in the deepest part, there was a woman sealed in ice. That woman was wearing a laurel crown and a Taoist robe. Her eyes were closed, but she still gave off a supreme majesty and coldness. She was like a saintess of the 9 heavens. The Dragon Queen. This was really when the people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty saw this. They shouted excitedly. They knelt on the ground. Dragon Queen, please wake up and take revenge for us. The power of the celestial soil poured down, and the frozen woman slowly opened her eyes. Am I awake? Her eyes were a little blank. She looked at the people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty in front of her and said, "Which generation are you? What age is this?" Chapter 56:07. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court recounted everything that had happened. When she heard that the Dragon Prince had been killed, the Dragon Queen was finally enraged. She let out a mournful cry. The entire planet instantly shattered, and the surrounding universe turned into a land of death. Endless cracks were everywhere. Lin Wuti! How dare he kill my son? I'll make him suffer. The dragon queen floated in the void. Divine crystals surrounded her. At this moment, she had turned into a demoness. The murderous aura on her body was too shocking. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court were so frightened that they knelt on the ground, trembling in fear. Someone said that the Dragon Queen had to plan carefully. Lin Wuti's current strength was very strong. He was above the Emperor's son, and the divine union that he had established was not weaker than the Emperor's. It was really too difficult to kill him. You bunch of trash, you boost the morale of others and destroy your own. The moment the Dragon Queen appeared, her might covered the world. His eyes gradually turned cold. Back in the day, our 10,000 Dragon dynasty was so powerful that it dominated the ancient times. Even the 10,000 worlds submitted to us. How did it fall to such a state? The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court were so frightened that they did not dare to speak. It was not that they were weak, but that the enemy was too strong. That was Lin Wuti. He had swept through everything and was invincible among the young people. Even a tombkeeper like Long Mu had been killed by the other party. Such a person was the young emperor of the past, the existence that would stand at the peak of the universe in the future. They really could not resist. Needless to say, I have to take revenge. Now that the deity ground has descended, I've waited for the best opportunity. I want to summon the 7 dragon generals. I want the 10,000 Dragon Court to reappear in the world, and it will reach its peak. The Dragon Queen's aura became more and more terrifying. She formed a seal with her palms, and endless ancient dragon Tao characters in the sky swept across the 9 heavens. These great Tao runes disappeared into the vast universe. On planet Tibetan, the Dragon Emperor's tomb had long been sealed, and it became even more mysterious. However, at this moment, the great Tao runes in the tomb flickered and disappeared. In the deepest part of the tomb, the 7th Dragon General, who had been turned into a statue, suddenly opened his eyes. He roared at the sky, and endless power erupted from his body. At this moment, it was as if he had really come back to life. The Dragon Queen is summoning me. He rushed into the sky, tore open the tomb, and disappeared. On the shattered planet, everyone was waiting. Could the 7 dragon generals really be summoned? Wasn't it an existence that had died many years ago? However, at this time, they discovered that in the dark universe, a stream of light was streaking across. A figure appeared. He was tall and mighty. He was like a god of war. His appearance made everyone want to kneel down and worship him. This was the aura of a quasi-emperor. After the figure arrived, he immediately knelt down on one knee. The 7th Dragon General greeted the Dragon Empress and congratulated her on her awakening. It's him, 7th Dragon General. When the people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty saw this scene, they cried out in shock. They had seen him in the Dragon Emperor's ancient tomb. Didn't he become a puppet statue? Now, he had actually come back to life. The Dragon Queen's methods were too shocking. The Dragon Queen looked at him and nodded. She smiled and said, "Long time no see." However, after waiting for a while, he frowned. "Why is it only you? Where are the other 6? The 7th Dragon General said, reporting to the Dragon Empress, "After I woke up, I was the only one left in the tomb. The other 6 disappeared." After hearing this, the Dragon Queen frowned, but she soon smiled. It seemed that Brother Tian was behind this. After hearing this, the people around were also shocked to be called Brother Tian by the Dragon Queen, only their ancestor, the Dragon Emperor Long Xiaotian. The Dragon Queen was excited. She rose into the air and said, "Let's go. Follow me to Brother Tian's ancient tomb." The 7th Dragon General said. General Mo led the way. He rose into the air and led the way in front. The group followed. Soon they arrived at the Tsangdi star and went directly to the ancient tomb. With a wave of the Dragon Queen's hand, the ancient tomb split open, and the group went in. This time, the group was not blocked at all. Those puppet mechanisms and formations seemed to have all failed in front of the Dragon Queen. Soon, they arrived at the place where the 7th Dragon General was sleeping. Once again, the group saw 6 open passages that directly connected to the depths of the ancient tomb. The Dragon Queen also frowned. The ancient tomb had been broken through by someone. Who was it? Who had such methods? His figure flashed and rushed in. The people around him followed. In the next moment, they saw an ancient coffin in front of them. The aura emitted by the ancient coffin was really terrifying. This was the ancient coffin that buried the Dragon Emperor. Everyone knelt down. The 7th Dragon General also knelt on the ground. His expression was incomparably sincere. Only the Dragon Queen walked forward. Although she was still frozen in the divine crystal, her magic power was still there. The Dragon Queen was also a quasi-emperor. With a wave of her hand, a monstrous power swept out. Immortal technique, Dragon Spirit Hand. In front of her, endless power condensed into a dragon claw that grabbed forward. The aura on the palm was really terrifying. It stunned the people of the 1,000 Dragon Court. They were all using the law of the dragon, but the Dragon Queen's execution had completely surpassed theirs. Moreover, the other party was shouting an immortal technique. What kind of power was this? This palm directly opened the Dragon Emperor Ancient Pass. The Dragon Queen looked over impatiently. Soon, her pupils shrank. There was indeed no one. When the others heard this, they were also stunned. What did this mean? The Dragon Emperor was not in the Dragon Emperor Ancient Coffin? Who took the Dragon Emperor's body away? However, at the same time, they had another thought, which was that the Dragon Emperor was not dead. The Dragon Queen used the Dragon Spirit Hand again and grabbed a battle robe from inside. She narrowed her eyes and said, "Cenotaph, Brother Tion, are you still alive?" The people of the 1,000 Dragon Court were excited. If their Dragon Emperor was still alive, then they had hope of rising up. Once the Dragon Emperor was out, who could fight against him? Across the universe, even the great emperor families would have to kneel in front of them. Lin Wudy could not withstand a single blow. Revenge! They had hope of revenge. However, they were also puzzled. If the Dragon Emperor was not dead, then where had he been all these years? He had never appeared. He did not even appear when the Dragon Emperor died. What was the reason? The Dragon Queen said, "Even if Brother Tion is alive, he will not be in the universe, because there was no power here that could help him improve. He must have gone to the deity land and was in the depths of it. We are also preparing to go to the deity land to follow Brother Long, of course. There was also one more thing, which was to kill Lin Wudy and avenge her son. Revenge. Could they finally take revenge? The people of the dragon race were excited. Soon, they set off for the deity land. At this moment, the battle in the deity land was abnormally intense. The battle between the great emperor families was also coming to an end. They did not have any extra power to use their supreme Tao weapons. However, the results of the battle were shocking, because someone from the great emperor families had finally become a boundary emperor. Chapter 56:08. Elder Gu Shao of the Gu family. Originally, he was a peak divine ancestor. His strength and laws were extremely strong. It was just that he did not have a chance to break through. However, the descent of the celestial ground this time around allowed him to take a step into the realm of saints. Coupled with the battle of the ancient city this time around, he obtained an opportunity and finally broke through to become a boundary emperor. The people of the Gu family were so excited that they cried. This was great. They finally had a boundary emperor. After Gu Shao became a boundary emperor, his strength increased tremendously. a void seed formed in his glabella, the power of the void, and it was way too terrifying. Was this the power of a boundary emperor? It was completely different from that of a saint. Elder Gu Shao was so excited that his body started trembling. This void seed had caused his strength and laws to undergo earth-shattering changes. There was a mysterious aura forming around him. Boom! He formed hand seals and slapped out a void palm, sending all of the people of the Qilin race flying. The people of the Qilin race spat out mouthfuls of blood. Damn it! How could he be so strong? The other boundary emperor was from the Kuan Peng race. Kuan Su. This was a middle-aged woman. Her white hair danced in the wind, and she looked exceptionally terrifying. At this moment, a pair of black and white wings appeared behind her back. The aura of yin and yang gathered continuously. It formed a yin and yang seed in his glabella. With a roar, it was as though she had turned into a yin and yang god, possessing the power to split the world. The people of the Yi family were forced back as well, spitting out mouthfuls of blood. Not good. Hurry up and leave. The Yi family head led Yi Wudao and the others away. The other emperor races also retreated one after another. Now that two boundary emperors had appeared in the emperor races, they were invincible. Indeed, the might of a boundary emperor coupled with an extreme weapon was way too strong. In an instant, this news spread out and shocked the world. Were there finally boundary emperors in the emperor races? After hearing this, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. According to the news, these two people had just become boundary emperors. With the emperor weapons in their hands, their strength was unparalleled. The emperor races were truly not to be underestimated. Even though they were lagging behind for a short period of time, once they had such a huge opportunity, they would definitely advance by leaps and bounds. Right now, the emperor races were still the overlords. That was indeed the case. The rise of Lin Xian, the appearance of the Violet Palace, and the Forbidden Lands had caused the Grand Emperor clans to lose their position as overlords. They had even been challenged by the Man in Jade. After that, the Celestial Land descended. Everyone broke through one after another. The clans of the ancients didn't seem to care about the monarch clans anymore. They felt that everyone was like a dragon. They all had the opportunity to break through and stand above everything else. However, reality proved that the Emperor clan was still that Emperor clan. Before these opportunities and luck, the Emperor clan's people were too strong. They seized the opportunity and soared into the heavens. Right now, the two sovereign races and the two quasi-emperors had secured their position as overlords once again. Moreover, Lin Xian believed that there would be more people from the Emperor clan who would become quasi-emperors. There might even be more and more of them. This was the foundation of a great Emperor clan. However, he also knew that this process was extremely dangerous. There would definitely be countless experts who would fall. It was even possible that the Crown Prince would fall again. That was indeed the case. Although this battle had created two quasi-emperors, many experts and geniuses had also fallen. It made the hearts of those Emperor clan people bleed. On this day, Gu Shao and Kuan Su joined forces to gather the other Emperor clans. Even the Divine Union was summoned to gather together to discuss something. What was it? The Toad frowned. Could it be that these two Emperor clans want to join forces to kill us? Lin Xian said, "It shouldn't be. The other Emperor clans will probably go as well. I think there should be something." Lin Xian led his people over. His Emperor clans also gathered. Although they were suppressed now, they still had the confidence. After all, they still had an extreme weapon. There were two figures standing in front of him, looking like two gods. One of them was standing there. The void power on one of them was extremely terrifying. It was as if he had merged with the entire world. It was Gu Shao Quasi-Emperor. The other was a woman. Yin and yang aura circulated around her body, as if it was splitting the world apart. This was Kuan-Su Quasi-Emperor. The appearance of the two quasi-emperors made everyone feel as if they were facing a great enemy. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. They were very strong. The strength of these two people was not weaker than the Chaos Quasi-Emperor, and the two of them had just broken through. In the future, it was very likely that they would reach the level of the Golden Crow Old Ancestor. Lin Xian was probably the only one present who could comment in such a calm manner. The others were as if they were facing a great enemy. "May I know why you have called us here?" the old phoenix said in a deep voice. The other emperor clans were also nervous. Gu Shao Quasi-Emperor said, "You should know how tragic the previous battle was. Even though I have become a quasi-emperor, the Gu clan has lost many experts." Qilin snorted coldly. "Are you here for revenge now?" The others were as if they were facing a great enemy. They even displayed the power of their extreme weapons. Elder Kuan-Su said, "In the battle of the Great Tao, it is very normal to die. Moreover, there are deaths in all clans. We are not here for revenge. We feel that this kind of competition is too harmful to us, so we thought of a way." "What way?" The Yi clan's patriarch also frowned. Could it be that he wanted them to withdraw? Gu Shao said again, "Our emperor clans have a foundation and extreme weapons. Once they collided, the power would be shocking. The consequences would be difficult to control. Moreover, the immortal land is so vast. Why should we only fight for a city or a mountain? Each of our emperor clans can choose a direction. This way, not only would he be able to search for fortuitous encounters, but he would also be able to avoid having to rely on them in advance. Why not?" Once these words were said, the surrounding people raised their eyebrows. This was indeed a way. Because of the previous battle, their hearts were also bleeding. "I agree." The people of the Qilin clan nodded. The Yi clan, Phoenix clan, and others also agreed. "Lin Gongzi, what do you think?" Quasi-Emperor Kuan-Su looked at Lin Xian and asked. This scene shocked countless people. One must know that this was a quasi-emperor. Lin Xian was just a young man. Moreover, he was only a divine ancestor. Now, he was asking for his opinion. However, everyone also heard that the primal chaos quasi-emperor came to fight with Lin Xian. In the end, he was seriously injured by Lin Xian and fled. This time, Lin Xian did not seem to have used any extreme-grade weapon, nor did he use any poison. Instead, he defeated a quasi-emperor with his own strength. Although this battle strength was not that of a quasi-emperor, it was not weaker than a quasi-emperor. Therefore, even if the two emperor clans had broken through one after another, they still attached great importance to Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, "I have no objection." This was also good news for him. "All right, since this is the case, let's start to choose a direction. I choose the north. I like the south. I choose the southeast." One after another, voices sounded. Lin Xian also chose a direction. He chose the east. "That's good." Elder Gu Shao stood up and said, "Everyone, let's go our separate ways." The figures of the Gu clan swayed, using the power of the void, and disappeared. They were heading north. The Yi clan, Phoenix clan, Qilin clan, and Kunpeng clan also left one after another. Chapter 56:09. The people from the Emperor race had left, leaving only the Divine Union. Lin Xian looked at the people from the Mountain Alliance and said, "Next, we will head to the east." However, there was still a vast area in this direction. Everyone could move freely. Everyone had their own opportunities. Lin Xian could not let these people stay by his side forever. He also could not bring so many people with him. He had his own opportunities, and so did the others. If they wanted to improve, they would have to face danger. This was unavoidable. The others knew this too. They took a deep breath. Lin Xian said, "When you are outside, Remember that you are from the divine union. Do not bully others. Of course, if you are bullied, you do not have to bear with it. The men of the divine union should sweep through everything and fight with passion. Did you hear that? Lin Xian shouted coldly. The people from the divine union raised their arms and cheered. We will not embarrass the divine union. Very good. Lin Xian nodded in satisfaction. Then he said, Rosalong, pass the things to everyone. Everyone was puzzled. Countless tokens appeared in the sky. What was this? Everyone was curious. Lin Xian said, This is the new divine union token that I asked Rosalong to make for everyone. Everyone will have one. Carry it with you. When you are outside, this is a symbol of your identity. It also has an important function. I told Ruffian Long to set up a teleportation formation on each of the command medallions. Once his life was in danger, and he could no longer defend himself, he would crush the token. The transportation array inside will send you to the Divine Union headquarters. It can also save your lives. Hearing this, the people from the Divine Union were delighted. Really? That's great. Thank you, Boss Lin. Thank you, Boss Rosalong. They were very happy. This was equivalent to having an extra life. They could leave safely in times of danger. Next, these people took their tokens and flew into the sky. Only the Crimson Dragon and the others were left beside Lin Xian. The Crimson Dragon asked, Kid, what do you plan to do? Lin Xian said, Let's split up. We'll gather again in 3 months and see what we've gained. Also, if you encounter something similar to Forbidden Ancient City, don't go there rashly if there is danger. We can note down the location first, and when the time comes, we can go and crack it together. The Crimson Dragon and the others nodded and left. Lin Xian took a deep breath and soared into the air as well. With a stomp of its foot, it turned into a streak of light and flew into the distance. Let me see what's so special about this celestial ground. Lin Xian's speed was extremely fast. Furthermore, he already had the battle strength of a quasi-emperor. Therefore, he wanted to fly inside. After flying for about 10 days, Lin Xian stopped. The heaven and earth pressure here was already very terrifying. If he were to continue forward, it would be difficult for him to bear the pressure. Lin Xian decided to search this area for the time being. 2 days later, Lin Xian saw a valley up ahead. The entrance of the valley was very big, and the inside was even more spacious. There was also a mysterious power inside. There was a stone tablet next to the valley. It seemed to have stood there for thousands of years without falling, with dragons flying and phoenixes dancing on it. The Heavenly Sound Valley. This valley is extraordinary. Let's go in and take a look. There was no one around, and there were no living creatures. It was extremely quiet. Lin Xian walked in. The moment he entered the Heavenly Sound Valley, Lin Xian's body trembled, and his soul shook, because it was extremely quiet outside, but there was an extremely terrifying sound in the Heavenly Sound Valley. As soon as he entered, Lin Xian heard the sound of drums. The sound of the drums was like a sudden clap of thunder, startling Lin Xian. It was so terrifying. No wonder it was called the Heavenly Sound Valley. There was a mysterious sound in here. Lin Xian activated his Rinnegan and looked around. He didn't see any big drums here, but he could hear the sound of the drums. It wasn't over yet. Lin Xian exerted the power of the law and walked inside to resist the sound. But about 100 meters later, the sound suddenly became sharp, like the sound of a flute tearing through the sky. The attack power of this sound was very strong, causing the laws around Lin Xian to shake nonstop. Lin Xian snorted and activated his Rinnegan. The light of the Rinnegan formed a huge defense, shrouding him. The Heavenly Sound Valley was extraordinary. It could temper the soul. The deeper he went, the greater the pressure on his soul. But if he could resist it, his soul would be improved to an incredible level. There were not many things that could pressure Lin Xian's soul. He didn't expect the heavenly sound valley to be so mysterious. This was just a valley in the deity ground. What kind of mysterious existence was there in the depths? Lin Xian was looking forward to it. He continued to move forward. The next day, Lin Xian heard the sound of various musical instruments. It was like the sound of the great Tao, resounding through the sky. Lin Xian didn't even know where the sound came from, or who made it, or was this terrain formed naturally? In short, it was very strange. The next day, Lin Xian was already very far into the valley, but he stopped. It was not to rest, but because there was finally a change in front. In front of him, the law of heaven and earth condensed into a guqin. The guqin floated in the air. When Lin Xian approached, the guqin began to play. A sound like a sharp sword directly tore through the void. It slashed toward Lin Xian. Lin Xian roared and slapped out the demon god seal. A huge seal like an ancient mountain stood in front of him and collided with the sound of the other party. It made an earth-shattering sound. Lin Xian stopped and frowned. The power of the guqin was extraordinary. It was interesting that he was able to threaten him. The strings on the guqin in front of him vibrated violently, turning into musical notes one after another, floating between heaven and earth. And those musical notes turned into demonic beasts one after another. These were sound-type demonic beasts. They were extremely terrifying and had a strangling power. They directly attacked Lin Xian's soul. Heavenly path of reincarnation, hand of heaven. Lin Xian used Rinnegan. Suddenly, a huge hand of God appeared in the sky and mercilessly fell, shattering all these sound-type demonic beasts. And after those sound-type demonic beasts were shattered, they quickly combined and condensed, forming even bigger demonic beasts. It was as if they were immortal and indestructible. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The path of reincarnation shook the 9 underworlds. The ground cracked as if forming a 9 underworlds. And the power of reincarnation turned these sound-type demonic beasts. They were all suppressed in the 9 underworlds. Just like that, Lin Xian fought. A day later, Lin Xian split the guqin in half. The guqin shattered and turned into a great Tao that flew toward Lin Xian. It contained an extremely strong soul aura, which was of great help to the improvement of the soul. Lin Xian did not hesitate. He used Rinnegan and swallowed this power. Rinnegan bloomed with an even colder light, and its power was even more terrifying than before. Lin Xian felt that his soul might be the first to reach the 5 Crown Kings cultivation. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.